Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
Yep. Welcome to September. God, can you believe it's September already?
Happy September.
Man.
I know the year is going by very fast.
Man.
Summer.
And I'm closing in, on 2024, which is a big date for me. I'll talk about that in a little bit, but which I've never shared on the internet before. But anyway, let's get to some hellos. So Barb, first one in tonight, says, interesting thought when the government and banks come out. I don't know why I don't put more of these up. I need to do better at that. Anyway, when the government comes out with the central bank digital currency, can we not go to the store with cash and leave cash to pay for the items because of the bill of exchange purchase agreement? Well, in theory, if everybody followed the rules, Barb, you'd be 100% correct. You could get away with it. But nobody follows the rules, right? I mean, the rules only work. Just like we get this conversation about the Constitution all the time, about how it's this brilliant document. And I've had a lot of people tell me, no, it needs to be redone or blah, blah, blah. It doesn't matter because at the end of the day, if it's not followed,
then why does it matter?
It doesn't matter, right?
You can, right.
Yep. Hey, Gizmo, good evening to you. Helen, good evening to you. Happy Labor Day weekend. Thank you very much. Gizmo, in an answer to Barb, says, Barb, I don't know the answer to your question. Tennessee is working on a bill to make gold and silver a legal tender. It's interesting how things are beginning to kind of turn a little bit, which gives me just a tremendous amount of hope. And I think Gizmo kind of hit it, on the head here, or, with the Anthony Oliver song, and then all the spin-offs of that song. And, a lot of the people kind of starting to wake up and kind of starting to fight back. It gives me hope and, makes me excited about, maybe I'm not the only weird one.
No, there's a lot of them.
Tonight, who else do we have? We have the greatest name on the internet.
Half bubble, half plum.
Good evening to you. TB is in the house, sharing ways to live free. Amen. Yeah, I want to talk about that some tonight too, because I think
sharing ways to live free.
Yeah, because the world's a weird place right now, and there's a lot of stuff going on. Songs Joy is in the house. The Filipino Nomad is in the house. Silver Lining, hello, my friend. Hey, Silver Lining, we had your Worcestershire sauce for dinner tonight, and it was fabulous. It was so good. Silver Lining had come up to our farm and spent about a week with us, and B and her pretty much just worked on potions and lotions the whole time. But one of the things she had brought with her was some homemade.
She gifted us
2
jars.
Yeah,
and it was ready to consume this week, so we tried it, and yes, it was. I used it to make sloppy joes, and typically when I make my sloppy joes, I put what's this here sauce in there, and then I put ketchup and a squirt of mustard and a little bit of rice wine vinegar is what I use, and I didn't have to put any of that. I just put your Worcestershire. What's this here sauce?
What's it called sauce?
And then just a little bit of ketchup. Yep, and it was delightful.
Yep, it was super good.
Everybody liked it.
Yeah, it was super good. We have some guests in the house right now. So we have 3 steps and is in the house, which you guys would know her as Jess from American Roots. And you guys should get on her channel on her next video and ask her why I call her 3 steps. And hopefully she'll tell you the incredible, funny story.
Is that better than the 2-step?
Yeah, well, we agreed that it was 3. We started off as 2-step. What was that?
I don't know.
Anyway, and then Joe, from Jess and Joe from American Roots, we're calling him Tetris because, dude, that guy can absolutely stack some boxes. So anyway, we have 3 steps and Tetris in the house, and so they're hanging out doing their thing, right at the moment. Anyway, Filipino Nomad says every day is laboring day for me lately. Boy, do I relate. Look at the rat on my face.
Laboring day. Are you sunburned?
Yeah, I've been building fence and been just racing. I'm racing this clock that I have in my head. And again, we'll talk about that here in a little bit. Who else we got in the house here? Hippocrates Garden, the instigator's in the house. He said he's got an addiction to Mountain Dew. You poor soul.
Yeah.
Yep, the world famous Eagle Lover Texas is in the house. Big Kid's in the house, my off-grid buddy. And then the Terminator is in the house. Jules and Drummondson Live. Hey, Dave and Sonia in Michigan. There's another channel. He's got a really cool, and I mentioned this before, but he's got a really cool off-grid trailer that's got, I love the racking. I can't speak enough. I mean, it just slid so smooth.
I have not seen the racking,
you haven't seen it,
but I saw their shredded carrots. I was all admiring.
Yeah, super, super good.
Their freeze drying them.
Yep. Carrie Davis is in the house. Let me see. ACM Homestead's in the house. Hey, ACM
Hello.
and I'm not going to give up too much information, obviously, because they have their own story in that, but they have really gone through a whirlwind trying to get free. And I think they're finally going to win this. But it has been
They're going to beat this devil.
It is a roller coaster.
This level
of devil, right? You know,
level.
we joke all the time about new level, new devil, but guys, I'm telling you, it is.
Oh, I should have brought that shirt up.
Absolutely true. You know, every time you accomplish something or you kind of level up in the freedom world, you're presented with a whole new set of devils.
Mm-hmm.
And, but anyway, ACM, I'm proud of you. You guys have hung in there. You have fought, you have scrapped, and you're almost there. And I can't wait for you to tell me, hey, that devil's beat, off to the next one.
Right.
Yeah. Mary Michelle is in the house. Good evening to you. Grateful Heart Ranch. Chris, I hope you're driving safe. Southern Comfort Homestead's in the house. EZ, Gregory Kissel's in the house. Appalachian Homestead, good evening to you. Yeah, my buddy Gypsy's in the house.
Loading.
Hello from Tennessee. Loading truck. Why we watch? But me, talk about loading. So Gypsy and I, earlier this week, unloaded 1,800 12-foot long sticks of concrete hardy board siding in a morning. And oh my goodness, was that a task?
It looked easy.
Yeah, it's because you didn't have to do any of it. You'd be standing back at the, at the door going, "Hi, boys.
Do you need anything? You're doing good. Keep up the good job."
Right. Yeah, that's why it was easy. You didn't even break a sweat, did you?
No.
Yeah, of course not, right? Let me see. Dusty Country Road is in the house. Eagle Lover says gold and silver is currently legal in Texas. Potpourri for Life, my friend, is in the house. The Silver Lining says she's glad that you enjoyed it. Chris White says, "Who's your sister sauce?" Yeah,
Who's
right,
your
exactly.
Sister sauce? Oh,
yeah.
I like that. Who's
your sister sauce? Yep. Hey, LJC is in the house. She's a freedom-loving badass. Mandy Garrett, there's another one. She's still outside working. I need to call you, Mandy. I got you on my list to call. I just haven't gotten to it yet. I just want to check in with some of the things you have going on in your life and just see if I can push any, buttons or anything I can do to help you. Tamara Smith is in the house. Yep. In Indiana Mike.
Ahoy.
Yep. I spent some.
Red man.
Yep.
You're red.
Yeah. Look at that.
Oh, you're darker than I am today.
I'm redder.
Well, darker.
I don't know that I necessarily call it darker.
Your red is darker than my yellow.
Yeah. So Indiana Mike might have a role with me being red-faced.
Oh, it's his fault.
Well, he might have played a role in it. Not totally. But I spent some time with Indiana Mike at another homestead. And we put basically about a 40-foot triple wide beam down a basement together. And we worked for, 4 or 5 hours. About right. Something like that.
That'd probably come in handy.
Yeah. Yeah. Super smart guy. I love how he thinks about things. He definitely makes our community around here better from just some of the alternative ways he looks at things. Yep. Maxine Joyce is in the house. MJ from Wisconsin. How are you? And then Jonathan, long time no see. I think I've spoken to Jonathan, I know for sure, on Wednesday and on Thursday, right? And now
I don't know.
I think 3 days in a row.
He's a lucky fella.
I know, right? I'm the lucky fella. He was making some cages in his living room. That was pretty cool. I was watching him.
Is that? I thought he was putting a bed together. It looked like he was assembling something.
He was making cages.
Like for rabbits?
I believe it was for rabbits, yeah. Scanes Girl, good evening to you. Bird's Eye View Homestead is in the house.
Oh, yeah. Last 2 rabbit cages.
Oh, yeah. Right there. Let me see who we got here down here. Oh, Life with Mike and Jen. There's some great people there, too. I learned so much from them. I got into a big conversation with Mike about reverse osmosis water systems. And Mike's a super smart guy. And anyway,
did you learn anything?
Well, yeah, what they were telling me was that the reverse osmosis system strips the minerals out of the water. And so people with reverse osmosis systems, if they're not re-adding the minerals back in there, it deteriorates your bones and it deteriorates your body a little bit because you're not getting the minerals you need. And because the water's looking for it, it'll pull it out of your body instead. And then there's a bunch of studies about it. And anyway, I learned a whole bunch from him. I'm better for it. And we're going to live a better life for it. He either prevented me from making a bad mistake or helped make a good choice at some point down the road.
Yeah. I've heard of it as dead water.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I've heard it referred to as dead water.
Yeah, they are great folks. You guys should definitely go check them out. Dana Green is in the house. Let me see here. Who did I miss? Anybody here? I think I said hello to everybody so far. Let's see here. Yeah, LJC said it was a bed for rabbits. Yep. Oh my goodness, look at all you people. Wonderful. All right, cool. I'm caught up. All right, what do you got first?
Well, one of the things I had on my list was the sighting. You guys I tried to get you videoed on you guys removing the siding from the trailer, but you already talked about it.
Yeah, but
I had Jess and Joe on my. We got company gone. 2 days later, new company come.
Yep.
I'm thankful for the sun, so I could wash everything in between house guests.
Yeah.
And so thankful that we have all these wonderful people in our community that we get to spend time with and learn from and yoke up with.
Yeah. Yeah. And it is so nice. Guys, I can tell you as our community continues to grow down here, I am really kind of in awe of it a lot. I get a ton of credit about, hey, Tag, you went and built this big community, but the truth is I didn't do it. It's easy to put that label kind of on me because I go speak places and I'm kind of the public face of it in a lot of ways. And, I recruit and, I go tell the story and I go do all of those things. But the fact of the matter is the real strength of the community isn't me. It's what happens without me, because the community doesn't need me to lead them right there. You've got just these amazing people, like Indiana Mike, we were talking about him, a little bit earlier, or, Gypsy or any of them, the list can go on. And they make it all happen behind the scenes. And I don't have to put my hand on all of it, and I don't. I'm not the manager of it. It's not really how it works. And, I get so many emails that talk about how much does it cost to buy into your community?
Oh,
I'm like,
somebody asked.
Yeah, it's so crazy to me because it's just simply not really how it works. We don't live in an intentional community. We live in an intentional neighborhood. If that makes sense, right? So there's a whole bunch of homesteads around us. There's a whole bunch of farms around us. They all have their own sovereignty. They all make their own decisions. We don't really have any rules except, don't be a jerk. That'd be the only one, I'd really put up there. But I think what makes it so magical is what they do behind the scenes, the things that you never see on YouTube, right? The things that just go on. And I could give you guys a ton of examples of, one homestead lost power in their solar system and couldn't get it working. And a whole nother homestead came to their aid. Wasn't me, right? Or a water pump quit working and somebody needed help, or somebody's significant other was out of town and somebody needed help, or, whatever it is, guys, firewood, we put almost 50 people on my land, October, about a year ago, to put up enough firewood to get us through because I hadn't gotten to it yet. It's those things that make our community such a beautiful place, in my opinion.
I had a person ask what it took to be part of our community. And in order to be a part of the community, you have to just be a part of it, right? If we're having events, be at the events. Doesn't mean you have to go to every one of them, but to try to be involved is how you are involved, how you get invited again, how you your availability, I guess. If you want to be a part of it, you will be a part of it. If you want priorities.
I think the way I would word that is that, so the community is not a singular thing, you guys, right? And I talk about this a lot. Most people think that the community is, you've got a year's worth of food, you're 6 people, you're all bugging out to Jimmy's house.
Things you're checking off, like
no,
a checklist.
No. Like it's singular, meaning it's the James Wesley Rawls Patriot Survival Group, right? It's 6 people and you've got a year's worth of food and you're going to jump in Susie's Seed 4-wheel-drive off-road Jeep and you got 1,000 rounds of ammunition and everything's going to be fine. It's not really what it is. We have an inner group, right? That we all get together, we work together, those kinds of things. But then there's the outer groups. There's the MAG, right? There's the next group out that you do things with a little bit. And then there's you guys, right? Even the people who are in our area, this is part of the community too. It's not a singular thing.
They're here in order to be part of this community. So,
but anyway, I'm just honored by it. And it's really, really cool to watch all of these people's struggles and then also all of their triumphs because you get both, right?
They're all different.
They're all different, and nothing goes according to plan. And it's just neat to watch them kind of go through it. And I could talk about each one of them a lot, but
But we won't.
Well, I'll spare you guys all those details, but it's really amazing just to watch it all work.
I think it's interesting to watch
Mm-hmm.
as people come in what they deemed is important.
Mm-hmm.
Like we felt, one thing was important, and somebody else
explain
feels,
that though. Go a little deeper into that.
Well, one person might think that shelter is the most important thing. Let's go and we'll start building a shelter. And somebody else comes and buys raw land and says, no, shelter. We can live in the ditch over here. Let's get water. Water's the most important thing. And then somebody else is like, what, water? We have water right here. You just have to drink it out of a life straw. We don't need shelter. We don't need water. What we need is a garden, And so like every family, every group, it's like somebody has a different outlook on where to start. What do you do first? And what's the most important thing?
Well, I think that goes even further, right? And to the point of we all have different ways of doing things.
Oh, well, yeah.
And if we spend our time saying, no, you're doing it wrong, you're never going to have a community. The fact of the matter is there is no right answer.
Yes.
Right. What works for me is not necessarily going to work for somebody else. The way somebody goes about it or what they choose, right? How tall their sidewall is, what's the pitch of their roof, what's the overhang, where
you spend your money on.
Yeah, how many T-posts you put between a solid post and a fence, or what's the best breed of chicken. Guys, it doesn't matter. Right? If someone's working towards the goals, let's celebrate that they're working towards those goals. And then there's another really big point too I want to make sure I point out to you guys when it's reference to community, is everybody's at a different place in their journey. And if we spend our time belittling somebody because they're not as far as us, we should be ashamed of ourselves, right? Let's not steal someone else's thunder because that's a piece of the journey we've already been through. Make sense? Right? Let's help celebrate the wins that they get along the way too, because you do enough of that, pretty soon you get up, like me, I get up motivated every single day just about, and I'm excited about, what we're working on and where we're going and the progress that has, kind of been made. Hey, Rain Country says, hey, all sorry I had to miss last week. Had a family dinner and a game weekend. Hey, no worries, Rain Country. And guys, here's another great channel that not only gives you great content, but I'm going to tell you something else. They are absolutely in the fight, and they are freedom loving, and they're standing their ground, and they're doing the right thing. These are the channels I really want to go out there and support. We do, B watches every video that Heidi puts out.
You don't have to make things up on your own. Like Heidi has so many great videos on things that she's already done, you guys. All you have to do is just not Google it. You just have to search for whatever it is you're interested in. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. There are so many people out there who have got such great content. I watch a lot of her videos because I'm learning every day. Yeah.
Hey, the All-American Prepper says the hat and the soap was awesome. I'm glad you liked it. And actually, I think I sent you this exact hat. I think, didn't we? Do you remember?
I don't remember.
I'm glad you liked the soap.
I do remember the soap. I remember being like, this is, how do I put this in a box?
Yep. And the All-American Prepper, that's another really good channel out there that if for someone who is finding a way to make it through, right? Finding a way to adapt, improvise, and overcome. Right. And guys, we need to. I'm telling you, the story's getting worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. Right. Life of Mac and Jen, Barb says you can purchase a bottle of 10 of trace minerals. Yeah. And what they're referring to is we're talking about reverse osmosis, stripping the water or the minerals out of the water. Mike's talking to Barb. But guys, if you guys have any water-based questions like this, I know a bunch of people who are really, really smart with it. When it comes to these kind of systems, if I had a question, Mike and Jen would be the first people I would call.
Yeah. We use trace minerals.
Yeah, Rain Country says, looks like someone got a little love from the sun. Oh, my goodness.
I didn't even notice you were burnt.
That's what happens after all these years. You don't even look at me anymore, huh? Is that how it works?
I guess I just didn't notice you were burnt. But yeah, I guess your face is pretty red on there.
Yeah. Well, I had a couple things happen. So I've been out in the sun for the last forever many days working all along. And then I did some welding today, too. Mm-hmm. And obviously, I wore a mask when I welded. But there are times for any of you guys who weld very much, you'll have like a little pinhole. And I want to stick that wire right in that pinhole and just blast it. So I'll lift my lid, stick that wire in that hole, and just close my eyes and give it a 2 second and then let it go and then open my eyes again, right? And so you'll get a little bit from doing that too. But
you didn't need any lavender? You don't have any burns?
No, I got them all over my
That's,
arms.
I was gonna. That's what these.
Yep,
red
another
things
thing
are.
you didn't notice. Wow, what's happening to
You
you?
just have a tan.
What's happening to you?
Look at how dark you are.
Look at how observant you used to be.
I used to see better.
Yep. Hey, Off the Wall Prepper 2. Good evening to you. I don't know, Off the Wall Prepper 2. You got a channel? It looks like you might. I don't know. I have to go check it out. Yep. Oh, there you go. Yep. Yeah, thanks, Mike and Jen. Yeah, great resource, you guys. Mike and Jen are a complete resource. But there's a lot of them in here, you guys, that we've talked about. Big kid, lives off the grid, can help in a lot of ways. Hippocrates Garden, knows a ton. We mentioned, Rain Country knows a ton. Appalachian Farmsteads here, who's living it every day. I mean, guys, there's just so much. And guys, I could have gone on and on with that list, right? There's so many really smart people in here, that there's just lots of resources.
Yeah. Let
me see here. Oh, here you go. Jonathan says Labor Day Milwaukee tool sales really hard to resist. Now I'm going to go partake in that probably tomorrow. Yep. Let me see here. Barb, you're most welcome. It is branded trace minerals, 8 ounces, a 96-day supply if you're looking. Beautiful. The second greatest name on the internet, the Banquet of Consequences. I don't know why I love that so much.
I thought it was Okie Ranch Wife.
It is, but Okie Ranch Wife, a Banquet of Consequences. All right, who else we got? Let me see. Kelly Ireland's in the house. Let me see what else we got here. Oh, yeah. I think I said Barb. Just good to hear. Homestead Medical's in the house. Hey, good evening to you. Let me see here. Mike and Jen say the struggle is real. I'm glad you are laughing at our expense. It definitely lightens the mood. Yeah. Well, I think don't we have to kind of laugh at ourselves the whole way through? The only way to get through it. I was thinking about this. It was either yesterday or the day before, but we were. Oh, I got to tell you guys the story about getting B in the concrete too. But anyway, we were. B is on the 4-wheeler, and there's 2 bags of concrete on the back because we're setting steel posts. And she's driving the concrete out to the hole, and I'm listening to her, and she's driving away. She's singing to herself.
What?
Yeah, you were singing to yourself. And it just made me think to myself that, that's the art to getting through it, right? That's the art, is to, just to kind of have fun.
Are you sure I was singing?
You were singing, yep. Yeah, Banquet Consequence says you're blushing, you've been out in the sun. No, I have been in the sun, and I am feeling it. Let me see here. Barb says to the off-the-wall prepper, I hope you get with Tag and get connected. He's interested in tax-free property information. Heck yeah. Is there anybody that's not? Even better yet, off-the-wall prepper, if this is something you can speak about and articulate, let's do a show. Let's make sure that everybody gets the information about tax-free property information, right? Instead of just me. You see here, everyone has something to offer. 2 gardeners can grow different food. Some can contribute to their skills to help one another. If done well, it benefits everyone. Yep, 100%. Absolutely 100%. Let me see here. Live with Mike and Jensen. I remember when Heidi and Patrick got their chickens, I did a happy dance for them. Isn't that cool when you can celebrate other people's victories? I love this. Absolutely love this. And guys, together we're going to need, I promise you, we're absolutely going to need that. Off the Wall Prepper says he's going to reach out to me. Hey, Off the Wall Prepper, it's tag, the letter NB. So tag NB at lifedonefree.com. If one of the mods are in the house and want to put my email address up there, you're welcome to. Let me see here. I can't wait for to begin that journey. So many ideas, but I know that things don't always work out like they did on paper, but that's the fun part. They never work out like they did on paper. Yeah. Yep.
And it's not always fun.
No, but I think the more fun you make it, right?
Like on your 4th trip to town to get a part that you're like, ugh!
Yeah, and those kind of things suck that I'm on my 4th trip to town, but at the same time, I've got this huge mission in life and I'm accomplishing it. And I might be taking a step back from time to time, but I'm taking huge steps forward all the time. And I think you can worry about it, or you can just sing and say, hey, this was great. I got to make my 4th trip to town. It's hot outside. I get to sit in the air conditioning for 30 minutes as I make my trip to town. And I got that, Heidi posted a new video, or All American Prepper posted a new video, or Grumpy Acres posted a new video. I'm going to listen to it on my way.
Yeah.
I get a break, and you know what? Nobody's with me. I'm going to stop and get a blizzard.
No! You wouldn't do that. You don't do that. You don't do that. That's not very kind.
Yeah, Banquet Consequence says we all have to remember we are on a journey, but we are at different waypoints on that journey. Yep, and we have to celebrate those victories. You guys, when you guys get on here and you tell me that you've accomplished something, like Terminator is a great example of this. She shares with me all the time that, she butchered some turkeys, or, she got her greenhouse up or built her addition, right? Now, this is a lady who lives very primitively up in Canada. And I celebrate with her, I'm like, this is awesome. I wish I was as tough as she was. Rain Country said, I was so glad to finally learn how to butcher chickens. But as always, there was that one person that felt the need to reprimand us because they do not believe in killing animals.
Yeah.
I didn't know Patrick was a softie like that. Yeah. Brain Cash is great, and use trace to put back in it. All right. I'm going to skip down here just a little bit here. What's LJC say? I spilled boiling goat milk on myself this week and had someone tell me they put egg white on burns and it doesn't scar. I'd used colloidal silver gel, but we'll try the egg white next time. I had not heard of that. Have you heard of that?
Interesting. No.
I had not heard of that.
An egg white.
Big Kid says blind welding is almost as fun as blind welding overhead. Yeah, no. Yeah, let's not blind weld overhead. That would be super bad.
It's raining.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to skip down here. What's Kelly say? Oh my God, I went to a flea market to sell some of my junk and had slip-on shoes on. I got burnt and then tanned, and now I look like I have dirty ankles. Oh, Kelly, I wish you were around. I'd come up with such a great nickname for you. Right? Just ask 3 steps in Tetris from tonight,
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah. Let me see here. I was the wall prepper. My channel got taken down for speaking up about certain things, but rebuilding again. Well, cool. Let's get together.
Off the wall prepper.
Yep. Yeah, he says I was off the wall prepper. Oh, got it. But my channel's wall prepper too. All right, got it. Well, but I'll see if I can help you build. Right? Let's do
number
something.
Number 2?
Yeah.
So are you building number 2?
Yeah, Eagle Lover says this is our weekly smart people meeting. Guys, there's so much smarts in the room. And I'm not talking about literally our room. I'm talking about you guys, that, as we go through all of these crazy things, I can think when just about anything happens in my life and I'm at a stopping point, so who I'm going to call. I have somebody to answer anything. And I've got a buddy named Mo who is a Mo engineer. I have 2 buddies, Mo. One from New Mexico, one from Missouri, but I'm specifically speaking about the one from Missouri right at the moment. But he's an engineer by trade. And so when I have engineering questions, I just pick up the phone and call him. Right? If I had a medical question, right? I mean, there's a lady right around here who I have tons of faith in, that I would obviously reach right out to, or just whatever it is, if I got into a One Step Closer, who's here a lot, if I needed some help with a spreadsheet, that's the guy I would call, right. Whatever it is, right? There's
certain people you call for
certain things. Yep. And you kind of learn who's great at what, but it's just so awesome.
I don't know why bread came to mind, but there's a certain person I'd call for bread.
Yep. Yes, you would. Yeah.
Or sweet rolls, or dessert bread, or...
Yep, I used to call for sweet rolls and dessert bread a lot, but it's been so long since I've had any. I don't even remember what they taste like, frankly.
Maybe we should call her.
Yeah.
Winter's coming. When it gets dark at 4:00 and the oven is already hot and ready to go, it's so much easier to throw something in there.
We all make time for the things that matter most.
I know, and I'm trying to get a fence built.
And if I matter most, okay, your chickens and your animals mean more to you than I do. Just say it. Just say it like it is. Just say it like it is.
At this time in my life, yes.
Okay, there you go. See? Did you guys see it?
There's more to
do
outside.
You heard it. Her chickens are more important than her husband. You guys heard it. You heard it here.
100 degrees, they have to have different attention. Yes.
And so because they need water, that's what prevents you from taking care of them.
They need water several times a day.
Oh my goodness.
And then I don't want to,
Heidi the callous is that she's on it.
And then
she's on it.
I don't want to heat up the house. I don't want to stand in front of the solar oven. I don't want to, It's hot.
A lot of knowledge out of necessity. We all have contributions to make.
Yes, some of us more than others.
Hey, Dana, how are you? Let me see if I missed anybody down here. I'll try to skip down here a little bit. Is that normal, singing to yourself and your animals? I mean, singing to your plants maybe is a little weird.
Why?
It was so neat to see her guys that day drive away, and she's just la la la.
Don't you sing like when you mow the yard or
No.
you know wash your
No.
hair or no?
No, I do not. And there you guys
you
go.
Sleep and
There's
you're
my
like,
email.
That's what he does in his sleep. He lectures. He goes like this. And sometimes his eyes are open, so he goes.
I'm asking for desserts.
But he doesn't blink. It's so weird.
Mike is cleaning the barn. I'm listening and fixing supper. Oh, good. Well, make sure you, Jen, you tell Mike that we all said hello. I heard you had a great time with Callie and all them. But make sure you tell Mike we said hello and we talked about him. Talked about what kind of a badass he is. Let me see here. Philippine Nomad says we need cheerleaders just as much as we need starters, relievers, bench warmers, special teams, trainers, coaches, and recruiters, etc. Amen. On the 4th trip, I would get a strawberry malt. Yeah, it depends on my mood. I'm usually a chocolate milkshake guy, but sometimes I get a blizzard too. Journey, I'm still in the parking lot waiting for my GPS to acquire signal. Yeah. Patrick is the one who built the killing cones and stand. Haha. Yeah.
And they were all one color. Did you see that?
No, I
didn't. They were
didn't.
all green. Like
cool.
Spray painted nicely.
Cool.
They look like they were just purchased from a retail store.
Yeah, Brain Country says colloidal silver is bad, scary, according to YouTube.
Yes, very bad. Bad.
David, how are you? Says, are you aware of John Bush and the Live Free Academy? I learned a little bit about Bitcoin. Yeah, I'm actually... So John Bush is good friends with Derek Bros. Derek Bros is the guy that founded the Conscious Resistance, and him and John together founded Freedom Cells. And I've spoken with Derek on stage before. I don't know John personally, but I definitely know who he is, and I know who you're talking about. By the way, good evening to you as well, bud. Let me see here. Let me see. Terminator says, tag, I will do a video on my big Tom. My husband will be helping me. It's too heavy for me to lift. Oh, you definitely should.
Didn't she have like an 80-pound bird last year?
She grows them big up there. Isn't that funny how she's way up in Canada and yet she gets these massive things? Mandy says, I got my tank top today. It's beautiful and fit perfectly. Thank you very much.
Yay.
Very good.
Those of you who are out there who have merch, if you take pictures of yourselves wearing the merch, we'll put it up.
Yeah, and I would actually like to collect a bunch of those. If anybody who has a free man hat or wears that stuff, I'd love to have a picture, and I'll put them in a big goulash on my website or something. Homestead Medical says you got my email and number. I don't know if I have your number or not. I know I have your email though. At least I'm pretty sure I do. Let me see here. It's what's that word, babe? Latune in egg whites that helps. Just the next box stuff off. Just the next box stuff off first. Wait, you didn't say you had a blizzard. Yeah. Okay, so but hold on. Me stopping MJ. Me stopping to get a blizzard does not let me off the hook for making me goods, because I go get a blizzard and I get all the shit they're putting in the food and I get all the stuff. I don't get any of the homemade stuff.
I see what you're saying though, MJ.
No, not even close.
Thanks for having my back.
No. Oh my goodness. Her chickens feed you tag. Remember that.
Mm-hmm. He's like, I want creme brulee, but I want eggs. That's the chickens.
Great Heart says, tag, if you start producing eggs, your status will change. Oh, that is so funny. That is so funny. Tag, you need to go to the chicken coop to get attention. Clearly. Right? Clearly.
Did you get more attention when you were at the turkey coop? When you were building the turkey coop?
No, I was busy building a turkey coop.
But did you get attention when you were out there?
Did I get any baked goods when I was out there? No.
I don't think so.
No.
No, it was still 100 degrees.
Yeah, no. Nice try.
Yeah.
Midwest Ribeye, good evening to you.
Hello, hello.
Yeah, B makes double batches of desserts this winter to get you through the hot summer.
Yeah.
The problem is, though, guys, she makes them and I eat them.
Just that fast.
Yeah, just that fast. Bank with Consequences. Oh my God, I sing Mamma Mia and Fernando while mowing.
Mamma Mia.
My animals depend on me. I cannot let them down. I depend on her.
Mm-hmm.
What's more important? I depend on her.
Probably the ones that are locked in cages that can't get their own water. Those ones.
Happy Labor Day weekend, Sunshine Kid and Private Cluck are here. Good evening to you guys.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah, for sure. Let me see here. Oh, sorry.
For sure.
I'm supposed to skip the ones that start with the @ sign, right?
I don't know.
Definitely we'll be sending a pic. Yeah, for sure. Do.
With the soap?
MJ says it still counts. Nope. Nope.
Still counts.
Nope. When we're talking about my needs, what make me feel loved, it's what I decide that makes me feel loved.
And you decided to get a blizzard. You were filling your love hole.
Oh my goodness. I'm sure I'll get more strikes and videos taken down. Okay. Let me see. Did the chickens notice the sunburn? No, they don't pay attention to me either. They don't. The only animals out there that I get attention from is the puppies. Obviously, they love me.
Yeah.
And the turkeys love me. None of the rest of them pay any attention to me.
The turkeys do love you.
Yep. Todd,
Yes.
not Todd. Good evening to you. Yep. Rain Country says, yep, tag is an animal, apparently. Caged animal takes priority over human that can forage for themselves. But here's the thing, guys. This is like, oh, I hate to say this, this is like someone saying I did laundry all day. Bullshit. No way this happened. It didn't happen. It's a scam. The
man thinks that this stuff just happens on its own.
No, it doesn't happen on its own, but you put it in and it does its thing for 30 minutes, which in that 30 minutes you could be baking. And then you folding the last and then you take it out and you put it in the other one. Okay, well, it takes a few cycles to get to the last one. So you at least got an hour in there.
There's all kinds of, you're pre-treating and you're adding stuff and then it's a whole day's worth of things.
Mm-hmm.
Coming from the man who has like 17 piles of shorts on, like 17 shorts in a pile. And I'm like, how do you wear so many clothes?
Because I go out and do this thing called Get Dirty. It's like work. You got to try it. It's really fascinating.
Too. I just don't change 3 times a day.
Mm-hmm. LJC says cookies freeze well. We always raided our grandma's freezer, she said. Even though mom made us baked goods every afternoon. Okay, I want you to read this. Even though mom made us baked goods every afternoon, mm-hmm. She must have really loved you.
I wonder if her mom was out running fence.
Actually, I bet knowing LJC the way
probably she was probably dropping calf and running fence and baking cookies all at the same time. Yep.
Starla Dokes in the house. Appalachian says turkeys are the best. Yeah, turkeys are great. I love them.
I thought you loved the geese.
The geese are probably my favorite birds, but they don't interact with me all that much. They just squawk at me.
Yeah.
You know.
What are your least favorite?
The ducks. I wish the ducks would go away.
The ducks at least entertain. I mean, the guineas. The guineas are like the wild. They want nothing to do with us. At least the ducks are like, yeah, but I'll follow you if you have food.
Yes, but the guineas have a super big purpose in keeping the ticks and the chiggers and all that stuff down. And so maybe I give them a pass. I don't know.
Yeah, you give them a pass.
Yeah, Jen says I saw a couple people at Ozark Homestead Festival with free man hats, not just Grumpy and Yoda. Yeah.
Oh.
I've sent out so many of them. I
wonder who was there.
Yeah, I don't know. I need to go next year. I'm just so busy all the time, you know. Rain Country says the laundry elves.
Yeah, it just happens.
Most animals love you if you have a food bucket. Yep. Jane says, are y'all still broiling in Kansas? No, it's actually been pretty decent. We've been getting down into the 50s at night. So I've been sleeping great. Absolutely great. You're cut off, dude. Yeah, clearly. I've been cut off, Drummondson. Thank you, but I'm already aware of this.
Until winter.
Yep. Keep clothes for the ones left behind, says Barb. See, zucchini bread and pumpkin pie season is upon us.
Yeah.
But cookie season was last month, and pie season was the month before that, and cake season was the month before that, and I didn't get any of it.
I don't think July is cookie month. I don't think that.
It is.
No, July is like ice cream month.
It's ice cream on top of cookies in an ice cream sandwich
It's
month.
like cold dessert month.
Yeah, Greek geese are noisy. So noisy. Moms love their kids like that. Wives are there to support you. Yes, with baked goods. 100%.
That's not support.
Now, mom was in charge of us 14 kids and the house. Dad was in charge of the farm and had his 5 boys and me to help. I didn't like being in the house.
Yeah.
Yeah, B don't really like being in the house either, I don't think. Appalachian Homestead says, you want 4 more geese? Yeah, I'll trade you 4 geese if you take all my ducks.
I'll trade you geese for ducks.
Done. You can have them all. And we have 6.
1 female.
Well, we don't know because 2 of them are still pretty young.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
We for sure have 3 males and 1 female, but the other 2 are still kind of up in the air.
Yeah.
Now that is not thermonuclear hot. I may be able to build a coop for my future geese. Yeah, I actually really like the geese. Anyway, I think got through all that, which is pretty cool. I know, right? That was a lot of comments, but that was cool.
Yeah.
So what do you want to talk about tonight?
We have the Washington shirts being designed.
Which shirts?
The Washington. Make Washington irrelevant again.
Yep.
I ordered shirts. They were called silver, but they were kind of a cement colored, kind of light, not white, kind of almond colored, I guess, maybe. Not cream, though. It's kind of weird. So I got the Washington shirts. They're being designed. The devil shirts are the gray was printed, and the man is black. The behind him is white.
She's talking. That's the Star of the Beast one, but
it's the same guy though.
Yeah, there you go.
So here, this is the guy. So it's the black guy with the white shirt, and then the letters. It says "Starve him" on the back. Starve him? No, Starve the Beast.
On the back it says Star of the Beast, but on the front it says New Level, New Devil.
New Level, New Devil. And they were supposed to be gray in color, but the gray come out more greenish, like kind of olive greenish.
Yep. Appalachian said she only take the ducks if we're here at processing time. Yep. Yeah. Dorothy Holloway, good evening to you.
Do you eat duck?
I would. I wouldn't be on the top of my list, but I'd eat it.
Yeah.
Are there any of you wanting to get a Dexter bull calf in about 6 months? So big kids looking to get rid of a Dexter bull calf. For any of you that didn't see it.
And where is he? Virginia?
South Central Virginia. Goose grease was a staple in the Homestead medical bag. Interesting.
Oh, really? What did it say? Make medicine out of them?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Heidi at Rain Country said, I never have time to leave the area. That is why we plan family gatherings here. One big one each summer and smaller ones each month. I think that's beautiful. I think more people should do that.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah. Well, they're talking about the Dexter. Let me see. It's delicious. We switched from turkey.
Duck to duck.
Turkey, yeah. Yep. I wish I was set up for a bull calf. I'm just getting started on my little farm, says Kelly Ireland. Not ready yet. Oh, you will be soon, though, won't you? Yep.
There's nothing like being ready than to get an animal and having to scramble to fix it.
Yeah, you want to get something done quick. Go and buy the animal and know the date it'll be there.
And then, and then you are busting your butt trying to get it done.
And ask me how I know that.
Is it because you already have a cow and you're trying to get housing for it?
Yes. I built the barn.
And goose.
I just got to finish the fence. That's all I got to do.
Yes.
Maybe tomorrow I'll get working on it.
And that is what is one of the things on my list too, was we have been building fence, putting in T-posts and
steel posts.
And we finally scored some 3 7/8 steel
fence. I mean, pipe poles.
Pipe poles.
Yeah, poles for the fence. You know, not steel pipe.
So you had to drive quite a ways to get them. We got 50, which ended up not being as many as we were hoping.
But it got that paddock done.
It got one paddock done between T-posts and
those things have
metal
gotten
posts.
expensive. When I started my so my property, for those of you guys who haven't been here, the whole front fence, which is about 1,600 feet, is steel pipe, the whole thing. And when I was buying it back then, I was buying it for about $1.25 a foot. You know, so an 8-foot post, you know, to go in the ground would cost you $12 or whatever. And I'm buying them today at $25 a piece for the exact same post. So, yeah,
it sucks when you get one that's not all the way usable.
Yeah,
when there's some rust in it. But so we're building fence, and then or we're putting in the supports for the fence, and then you have been working on a device to hold the fencing.
Yes.
So what do you call that? Fence guide?
I built out of steel pipe, my scrap steel pipe. I built a attachment for the front of my skid steer that will pick the roll of fencing up, extend out to the side of the skid steer, and be able to drive and unroll the roll as I go, so I don't have to pick them up.
Yeah.
So the skid steer will pick them up and unroll them. I'm trying to figure out how to put a brake on it, because if I can put a brake on the top and the bottom, what it'll do is allow me to stretch the fence also without using my arms, right? And so if I can pick up the roll, lay out the fence, and also put some kind of brake on it so it'll stretch the fence, that'll be a whole lot, you know,
easier than
accomplished. Yeah.
Us and yes, we can manhandle a roll of fence. That we have done it before. But if you don't have to, why would you?
Yeah.
So and if it took him 4 hours to build it, then why would you roll it out? Yeah.
And I love fabrication. You guys don't know this a lot about me because we've been so much into construction. I haven't had time to tinker, but I love taking my welder out and a pile of steel out and making something. I mean, I just love doing that kind of work. So hopefully as time goes on, I'll be able to videotape more of that kind of stuff to do it. So I'm really looking forward to this new device. Again, it was, guys, I paid nothing for it. The only money I have in it is the wire for the welder. Everything else was scrap metal. There was no scrap metal. And then my time, obviously. Yeah. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah. And if it works as though it was designed to do, it will be easier and less manual labor for us. Right?
Yeah. Big Kid says, I made a fence and roller stretcher that goes on my tractor. Yeah, Big Kid, you and I are a lot alike. You know, you and I have done a lot of this kind of stuff.
What if it looks the same?
Yeah, together. I don't know. I'd love to see a picture of it to see if maybe I've learned something, you know, especially if yours has a brake on it. Yeah. A way to lock in the roll. Now I could just stick a bar through it, right? I could just make stick it through, and then it'll only spin so far and it's going to stop. But I'd really like to have a, you know, some kind of brake
that hits the fence and stops it.
Yeah. Philippine Nomad says, Tag, where do we find your Freeman swag, caps, tees, etc.? Okay, so on my YouTube page, you'll find the cheap Chinese stuff, the stuff that YouTube, their store, that they allow us to do it.
It's like screen printed.
It's just screen printed. It cracks. It's fine, but it's not super good. But this kind of stuff like that I have it made and shipped to my house. You just got to email me and tell me what you want. And then B will go, she'll get your address and she'll go figure out what shipping is. Then she'll come back and she'll say, this is what shipping costs. And if you want it, you can have it, guys. We make, you know, no money on it. It's nothing like that. You know, it's just my way of trying to spread freedom. And I got to tell you, it's so cool. Every conference I go to, every convention I speak out, there are people with the Freeman hat on somewhere. Yeah. Yep. LJC says that fence on roller sounds pretty handy. Yeah, it's going to be super handy, and you're welcome to it anytime. And I know you know a guy who's got a skid loader that's like my skid loader, so it's going to
probably fit right on.
Snap right on, and it carries 2 rolls at a time, so 660 feet of fence at a time, which is pretty good. Oh, Tag, Mike was just talking about that the other day. The machines are crazy expensive. Making one would be awesome. Yeah, I made one. It's not going to be as cool like the big machines you buy. You know, they've got, it'll automatically reload the next roll. Like I actually have to
lay it down,
lay the front of it down and pick up the next one. You know, it's not going to automatically do it, but it's going to work a whole lot better
it's like
than you do it.
it's like a metal pole, so you have to like put it down, scoop it up, and pick it up, and then drive along with it.
Yeah, MJ says work smarter, not harder. Yeah, indeed.
Yes.
Instead of a brake, what about a low-geared electric motor? Free roll to a point, then engage the motor to pull tension and attach. Yeah, I'd be all right, but I'm really looking for something just super basic, Hippocrates. Yeah. A lever. Something that's not, I mean, I would just know that it's only mechanical. It's not electrical, right? It's just, I just grab a handle and smack it down and it locks it or something. Hey, Cheryl's in the house. Says, hello all. A bit late, but glad I made it. Hope everyone's having a great night. It's been a really good night. We've been chit-chatting a lot. I'm glad you came. Let me see here. I broke the shaft on my auger. Bobcat wants $800 for a new one. Ugh. Yeah, I would go, if I was you, Appalachian, I would go down to a machine shop and I would ask them what it would cost to have one. Because I'm going to tell you, typically for me, I get them done a whole lot quicker or a whole lot cheaper like that than trying to go to the dealership. Yep, make efficient use of your time, saving those energy stores, 100%. I don't want to pick up anything I don't have to. I mean, I'm not, frail in any way. I work hard every day, but if I could take the skid steer and do it, because imagine, guys, if I could pick up that roll of fence, drag it 300 feet, and it would stand tight and taut, and then all B and I have to do is walk behind it and
just
tie it up, cut it off at the end, start another one, drive out. I mean, I could just fence quick. Tag okie dokes. We'll order some for the family and friends. Yeah, cool. Let me see here. Big Kid said it's manually operated. A lever system would have been better, but I just used a couple bolts to pinch the fence and hold it tight. Yeah, this is more what I'm thinking about, Big Kid, is how do I just make it just, super basic, super simple. I don't want it to be complicated. Now, I did have some thoughts about. Sorry. I'm totally going to go out here crazy, Big Kid. But what did you think about this? So I've got an auger for my skid steer. If I ran a shaft off that auger to a round plate at the bottom and put the roll on that, right? So I could tip it up so the roll is right in front of my skid steer. The auger actually goes forward and back. I wouldn't be using it as an auger, but I could use it to unroll and to tighten the fence based on whether I spun it forward or I spun it back. The only thing I don't like about this idea is it puts it directly in front of the skid steer when the one I built puts it a foot off the skid steer so I can run right down the fence line.
On the auger, you can't, it only goes one way. It doesn't go backwards.
Yes, it does. You should try running it once in a while.
I thought it was only, even when we shake the dirt off of it, it's always one way.
No, if you really pay attention to how I do that, I go forward, backward. Forward. I'm going like this to get all that dirt off of it.
Oh, I have only done it in one way.
Yeah, Tag, are you using barbed wire? We are right now. What I'm putting up though is basically field fencing. 4 foot tall field fencing, but I'll put some barbed wire at the top.
Is that called woven wire or welded wire?
Yep. I had someone take a picture of the Hold the Line t-shirt I was wearing at the expo. Oh, cool.
Huh.
Rock on. Good for you. Pretty cool. Yeah, I love seeing stuff like that. I don't know why. I just do though. It's super cool. We have not had super luck with the portable electric net fencing with the goats. So I think we are building some paddocks. So thank you for the offer. So I'm probably going to irritate some of my friends what I'm about to say right here, but I am I am, but it's okay. We all do things different. And guys, for those of you who do it different than me, I love you for it. Just go do you, right? I'm not judging anything, but for me, the temporary fencing is a waste of time. It's a waste of time because it begins with the word temporary for me. So I just rather build it, get it in. If I need to get them out of that to move them to another area, I'm just going to build me another permanent fence and be done with it. Hey, love runs rampant. Welcome back. Finally got back to alive. I started a night job to get out of debt. Good for you. Good for you. If you want the things that very few people have, you have to be willing to do the things that very few people will do. So good for you. Big Kid says no reason it couldn't work as long as you can lock the center so it can free spin on the auger shaft. Yeah. And I was just thinking about using a 3-inch pipe, down to a round disc at the bottom that somehow slips on and slips off because you'll have to tilt it down to pick it up, right? Should be able to get that other plate back on there. But anyway, you see you're watching while doing grape juice and grape jelly. Oh, pretty cool.
Oh, nice.
Jen says goats are like drunk teenagers. Yeah. Rain Country says, how dare you do it differently? I know, right? I know. 100%. Oh, well, somebody's telling me something. All right.
Was that me? I just kicked this white thing on
Probably.
accident.
Well, we're still live, so you didn't do too much damage, right? You can tell by the little counter up there. See that up there?
Yeah, what is that? I'm sorry.
Did you guys see that the Hawaiian Power District, so Hawaii Power and Light, removed all the transformers and poles? People are still missing up there. I wonder why they're removing it.
They're removing the poles?
The poles, the transformers,
Because
everything.
That's what was on fire, right? That's what caught on fire. They're trying to remove all the damaged parts. Yeah, the houses are all burned.
Right.
And the equipment's probably burned.
Yeah, it's all burned. Not worth anything.
So they're removing the burned boxes?
Mm-hmm. Yes. What do you think? Huh. Tell me one reason why they would remove it.
Evidence?
There you go. That's what I think.
Because they haven't even found all the bodies, right? They haven't found all the people.
Kelly says, dang, I'm going to have to go back and watch about the fencing. Bubba let a fly in the truck and is yelling for me to kill it. That's awesome. That's awesome. I've heard this said before. The goats are always looking for a way to kill themselves. Mm-hmm. I've heard that about turkeys too, although I have not experienced that personally. One of my main mottos is find what works for you because there's no one right way. I could not agree more. Yeah, let me see here. Zero shits given. They don't care about anything, and it's all about a good time. Yeah. Eagle Lover said 2,000 children missing. Yeah, that whole
2,000.
Yeah, that whole Hawaii thing is such a mess. I mean, there's so many. I've seen pictures of. I know you guys have too, of the melted aluminum running on pavement, and that just physics. This doesn't make sense, right? Because aluminum melts at like 1,250 degrees, and asphalt melts at like 300. So
you're saying that the asphalt should have melted before the aluminum, but the aluminum was
running
melted
and
running
ran
down
the top of it. Yeah, it's so weird. There's a bunch of shenanigans going on, but guys, there's a bunch of shenanigans everywhere going on, right? Yeah, poles are missing evidence. Yep. Let me see here. Except the few trees are not burned. So sad. This is a weapon they have been testing. The whole thing is sad. And I don't, with the internet today, it's so hard to know what to believe.
Is that what everybody thinks? Is it was a weapon that was testing?
Yeah, a directed energy weapon.
That's what everybody's been saying?
I don't know about everybody, but there's a whole bunch of people. Yeah.
Was that the microwave theory?
Yeah, Big Kid says can't find what's been vaporized. Yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah, there you go. Can't find what's been vaporized. Dang, enter keys on my fat fingers. Yeah, I caught it. It took me a minute to get through the 3 messages, but I got it. Yeah, and what about the color blue? Did you see all that? So a lot of the, like the Oprah's house was blue. And
I saw something that said that it was, but I didn't.
Yeah, that's so weird. I need to figure out what the exact tone of blue is, and I'll start doing shirts and stuff in that color because it would just be funny to me. New level, new devil, and in the blue that they paint in their house with. The opaque fencing and no-fly zone drones are suspicious too. Oh yeah, I seen the fencing, Jane, today. I was watching it. So they're putting a big fence up around the whole thing of everything that burned. I've never, now guys, in fairness, I'm not in fire country, but you ever seen a big forest fire or any of that when they're done, they put up big, tall fencing around all of it so nobody can see into it? Yeah. Yeah, Big Kid says, or not Big Kid, Eagle Lover says, I want one. Yeah, can you tell me what color blue it is? And I'll absolutely make some because that would be hilarious. And it could be just kind of like our community little deep secret. It'd be funny. But Joel says, I still want to know why they blocked off the only road in or out so people couldn't get out. They sat in their cars and burned.
That's why.
Yeah. Well, guys, I don't know the answer, Jules, but this is what I do know. And that is that if this isn't enough proof that they're not coming to help you, that if something goes bad, you are on your own, then I can't help you. My son was telling me this week, and it was we were talking about a whole different topic. We were bantering back and forth, and he said to me, he said, Dad, he said, I can explain it to you, but I can't understand it for you.
I remember that.
What a great statement, right? I can explain it to you, but I can't understand it for you. And it really got me thinking. And so just like this, I mean, we can explain to everybody in the world that, look, you guys, that when anytime the government's been needed, go all the way, from Katrina, right? To Maui, to went over, like I said, what's going on over in Hawaii or a million other places, right? All of the stuff that's ever gone on, they've never really been there to help, and they're not coming for help. So we got to take it upon our shoulders to figure out, how it is that we're going to help ourselves. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit later too. Pope Reed said the whole situation continues to make me cry. The innocence of children are the victims of the evil. Aren't children always the victims of the evil? Right? Not just children on an island somewhere, right? I mean, I heard a report last night that the sprinklers were running on the high value properties that didn't burn, but the areas that did burn had the water shut off. Wouldn't surprise me a bit. What's up with these zombie flies? You kill them and a few minutes later they shoot up from the floor. And I know it's the same one.
I've seen that too. Ants too.
Maybe it's a drone.
I had those ants. We have had big, huge ants. And I stepped on one. I stepped on one good enough that I know it was dead. And I sat there and watched. I stepped on it. It was dead. It was on the floor. I saw another ant come up to it. And then they both walked away.
Yep.
I had to stop what I was doing to walk over there and step on both of them again and pick them both up and put them in the toilet and flush them. But I thought it was very weird that one was dead. It was dead. And I saw it move and come back to life.
Yeah, Jane says the blue laser wavelengths. Yeah, I've heard this. This is what it's about too, but I'm still curious what the exact color of blue is. Because maybe we could put some laser beams across it or something. We could have some fun with it, it'd be insensitive, but I think it'd be funny. Jules says, yep, nobody's coming. I could not agree more. If I'd have been there, they would have been forcefully pushed out of the way. Yeah, no doubt. Why didn't somebody punch them in the mouth?
They were there because they were following directions. The police were not let them go.
Okay, but here's the thing. You got fire at your back, and you got some official in front of you telling you can't get out. So I'm going to go back towards the fire.
No, they stayed there in line.
Yeah, and died. Why? People always talk about why did the Jews walk into the concentration chambers? The truth is they didn't, right? It was a whole bunch of stuff over a long period of time, but sometimes we have to stand up and punch them in the mouth. Sometimes we have to say no, right?
It was a work camp.
Yeah. Instead of orange is the new black, blue emergency services is the new brown. Oh.
What is it? Orange?
The instigator says instead of orange is the new black, blue, or the emergency services color is the new brown. In referencing the brown shirts from Germany, right? So right? You know what the brown shirts are, right? You familiar with that?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Do we turn the fan off for you?
Yeah. Eagle Ever says ant CPR. No, I'm fine. I'm fine with whatever you want to do. See here, yes, children are victims everywhere, inclusive within our schools. Guys, we got to stand up and do something about it. I mean, we have allowed this to happen. I mean, I'm not, suggesting that I know everything, but I can tell you that, I have kids, and the chances of them being, picked up and kidnapped and taken off to be a sex slave in Honduras are not very good because I look out for them. I know not all parents do that, but they should.
Well, you're insinuating that the kids that did get abducted, their parents weren't looking out for them.
I would think that it's not likely. You wouldn't have as big of an issue if you had parents who were paying attention to their kids and being parents. I've got a video coming out this next week about it's the men's fault, and I'm going to totally make some guys mad at me, but probably make some girls mad at me too. But in reference to the same thing that we've got to take responsibility for it. All the love for the locals, children of the land in Maui, lived in Hawaii 10 years, and the island was an absolute paradise. Yeah. I think I share that the government was going to be testing a new direct energy weapon this year. Love runs rampant that says, AB, maybe the ant just fainted. Actually had a fainting queen. Look it up. Scared the crap out of me. Yeah. In reference to the children, read today that some German preschools have reportedly been creating sexual exploitation rooms. Man, I don't get this. Kids need to be kids. Why are we teaching them anything about sex? Forget for the moment bisexual, transsexual, homosexual, heterosexual, whatever. They don't need to be taught any of it. Let them be kids.
Homosexual? So make that up. Oh, you were going to say homosexual. You said homosexual.
Yeah. I would pick the blue that is in the rainbow, like the true, almost royal blue. LJC, how would that compare to the blue of the sweatshirt we just sent you? Didn't we just send her a sweatshirt?
Yeah, it was lighter, probably.
So lighter than that? Yeah. LJC,
probably the L, the color of her L right there. That is the blue that I would imagine it would be.
That is so sad. We were married on Maui and have been back several times over the years. We know Lahaina. I don't know how they say that. Lahaina. Well, or what it was. Hey, Mike and Jen, B and I got married on Kauai, Hawaii. The churches in Germany would sing louder when the trains went by. People in general are scared. Yeah, but when are we going to do something about it?
Louder so that they couldn't hear the people.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. But when you get scared, what do you do about it? People talk about, being strong and courage and and all of those kind of things. Guys, I was in the service and I promise you every single soldier was scared. It's what they did when they were scared.
Right.
That's it. That's the only difference.
Huddle in the corner and cry.
Yep. Why my grandson is being homeschooled. Yeah, smart. Yep, several years ago, I had a local cop get in my face yelling and crap for no reason. Soon as he realized I was also armed, he decided he had other places to be, simply turned and left without a word. Yeah, I think we need to stand up, like we always talk about, that no is a complete sentence, When I was a kid, the men in my life were veterans of World War I and World War II, and I can assure you that they would never put up with the crap we ignore. I agree 100%. If the whole Epstein Island thing we were talking about this last Friday could have come out during the Greatest Generation, back at that era, there's no way. They'd be tarring and feathering politicians in the streets. That'd be a t-shirt too. They don't. Children need to be children. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. It
would still work, but yes, the picture the blue on my L. Yeah. Coincidence? All right, baby. Can you take it real quick? Take your phone out and take a picture of that blue. Let's see if we can get some made. See if she can match it somehow. Sorry, guys.
It's not going to be the same kind of blue. That's just like...
It's going to be close. Just give me somewhere to start. I got to try to find a way to explain it.
I know, but it's not going to be.
You'll be all right. All I got to do is just do what you're told. Okay. Yep, we must speak up. That's why I don't have a lot of friends, laugh out loud. Don't need friends who approve of what is going on. Well, it's also why we need the community, places just like this where we get to chit chat and it makes us feel, a little bit normal. Hey, Bobby Q's in the house. The sauce master himself. American society has become soft and still thinks that those things won't happen here while it's literally happening right in front of our eyes. It is happening right in front of our eyes.
Did you call him the sauce master?
Yep, it is time. Absolutely time to stand up. Let me look here. What else do we got? Hey, real quick before we get any further, for all your prayer warriors out there, I know that there are some people in this chat who were affected by the hurricane in Florida. Let's make sure that, we're, sending prayers out to all of those, community members, but just as importantly, those we don't even know, right? Out there, make sure that, and hey, any of you out there, if you guys need something or something I can help with or a message I can send, my channel's not very big, but I would absolutely volunteer to use it to do whatever we needed to do. This community has helped me stay sane, says Midwest. Helps me stay sane too. It's actually kind of really motivates me to get up and do it again. It really does, And Potpourri says it's happening right in front of our eyes.
Yeah, there are a lot of people out there, a lot of you folks out there who contact us on a regular basis, and new people who have questions about what to do and how to do it, and just picking brains and helping others to meet up with others to try to just spread the knowledge, the freedom, and
it's so nice when you got much smart people around
community.
It's so smart. I could, like we were talking about earlier, man, I could call a whole bunch of people about a lot of different issues.
Yeah.
And get through it. And just the random acts of kindness and, generosity and, it's just really badass. So in the news, Eris, which is a new strain of COVID, it's no more deadly, but it's more contagious.
Is it E?
ERIS. Well, actually 2 of them out right now. There's another one that's even more prominent. But anyway, so this last week we had 19% more hospitalization as compared to the previous week, and 17.6% more deaths resulting from that COVID strain. And then you've got the Perola strain, which is also spreading right now. And I only bring this up to you guys to tell you that shenanigans are on their way. So, what's been on the news lately is Pfizer and, Johnson & Johnson and some of the other ones. So they have a new vaccine coming out mid-September. Today is September 1, guys. Okay. They have a new one coming out. Joe Biden's been on the news talking about how the vaccine should be mandated. Everyone should take it. And I can tell you that there's people in my life that I give a shit about who are in careers who it's being threatened right now. I know that there are schools being asked to mask up again. I mean, it's going on right now, as we think, oh, Vicky, you are such a bad. It looks like cayenne blue, one of the base colors for CYMK 4 color printing ink colors. Yeah, write that all down right there.
Look at her.
Yeah, I know, right? This is what I'm talking about being around super smart people. Vicky and Private Cluck, who, they're in here tonight. They're also on freesteading. I mean, they're a wealth of knowledge. Been doing it a long time, are really smart, can really offer, a whole bunch of knowledge. There's a ton of you guys in here, right? Just an absolute ton. Did you get it?
Yeah.
Did you go back? Okay. I was praying since the day it happened. Message a few that I know living down there. Yep, good. I never skinned a cat, but I hear there's several ways. Yes, there is.
I've heard that too.
Yep. Wait, there are sane people here? Well, depending on whose definition, right?
I don't know any of them.
Sadly, I won't visit Hawaii nor California, my birthplace, ever again. My parents left Cali 20 years ago, now in Texas, and will finish their days out there. Now, Eris is the name of a goddess of destruction, which is true, which is in, I want to say Latin. Heidi, correct me if I'm wrong. That's Latin.
Goddess?
Yeah, but I'm trying to remember which. It's a Greek. I don't remember. But yes, this is true. I read this about that as well. Milil? Did I say that right? Hi, y'all. Just getting over sickness and went through the hurricane here in Tampa. Well, are you doing okay? Is everything okay down there? We're all praying for you guys. So I hope everything's okay. But you're here and you have internet and you're talking. I'm glad to know you got over your sickness too. Oh, of course. See, lots of badasses. Eris, the Greek goddess of strife and discord. Roman equivalent is discordia, which means the same. Wow.
Discord.
Wow. Yep. Know your medicinal herbs. Yeah. B is pretty good at it. I am not. Yep. Just say no. Couldn't agree more. My entire family thinks I'm nut. I try to prepare as possible and keep doing it. I'll tell you, I don't know if this will help you or not, but let me tell you a little story. And I've told this story before, but I have an uncle who for years and years and years and years, because I've been at this a long, long time, said to me that I was crazy and that I beat to my own drummer and, all of these kind of things, right? And just a couple of years ago, he came to me and he said, I have to tell you that I think you might be the smart one. And I was talking to Grumpy about this one day, and Grumpy was talking about, I just don't have patience for people anymore. If they don't see it, I can't help them. And I told him the story of my uncle, and then I told him I'm really glad I didn't call him stupid.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing, had I called him stupid, he would have never come back to me. And now he's awake. And now he's going, oh shit. Now he's doing things to change his life because I was patient through the process. And so my advice to you is to be patient through the process. And I promise you, you will not end up the crazy one. Right? You will be the one that they look to for guidance. You'll be the one they come to for help. Yep. Eris means discord and strife. Yep. The big guy said this vax works. Wonder if he meant it'll work to wipe out more people. Well, I think what's interesting, Kelly, about that is when he said this vax works, that it means that he's insinuating the other one didn't. I mean, we all know this, right? But that means he's admitting the other one didn't. So he said that one worked back then too. So that one was a lie and this one's truth. How do we know?
Well, everybody's different. So that one was good for those people. This one will be good for those people.
Yep. Homestead Medical says, amazing how fast vaccines are being developed. considering flu vaccines took 25 years and they're still working on it. Yeah, because the strains change, right?
Well, there's that.
Well, I mean, but there is just no way you can successfully create that, in my opinion, in 100 days.
Well, they're guessing anyway. I mean,
Of
that's
course
why
they
it's
are.
a practice.
Well, they don't want us all around, and they want the other thing. It's not just that. I also think there's another thing in all of this, which is they want us to be divided. They want the vaxxed to hate the unvaxxed.
Oh yeah.
They want that
And they do.
that strife, because as long as we're fighting each other, we're not fighting them.
Yeah.
This is one of my favorite things about the Oliver Anthony song. What it did is it united the brown and the black and the white. It did. It brought many of those people together. And guys, I'm telling you, if we would just sit down, we would realize there's so much more that connects us than what divides us. Yeah. On every single front, regardless of what creed you are, what religion you are, or what.
I think though that a lot of people they get so stuck on the we are so different on this point that we can no longer be anything else except for unbending on that. I have a family member who almost every time I talk to them is like, well, you're the what did they call me? The unvaxxed. And I'm like, I'm not a non-vaxxer. Why do you keep saying that? The kids are vaccinated. What are you talking about? Like we just did it differently. I personally was not okay with the combo vaccine. So we did it differently.
You're talking about prior to the COVID vaccine.
Yes, prior to the COVID. But all of our kids are vaxxed. I mean, they've had their polios. They've had their whatevers, MMRs. MMR. But and
none of them
we had to go at it differently too, because like our doctor would not allow our child to have just the polio. They wanted them to have combo vaccines. So we had to go to the health department to get just the polio or just the measles or just the whatevers. So, and they were like, well, you're going to have to come back a lot more. And I'm like, that's fine. We'll come back as often as we have to. I would just like to have repercussion. If there was one vaccine that was a problem, I would like to know which one it was, instead of let's throw 17 in there and just make it all happen. So personally, for me, I am not a non-vaxxer. I just think that,
I'm a
it
non-vaxxer.
should be around for a little bit before we go ahead and just.
Yeah. If I could go back and do it all over again, my choices would have been different those 30 years ago.
For all of them?
For all of them. Yep.
Yeah.
That was 30 years ago. Hilltop, you were right on time. But you meant a skinned cat makes good fox bait. I bet a skinned cat makes all kinds of things. Let me see here. Joel says, Loco, what a coincidence. I was born in California too. Moved to Colorado in 83, to Texas in 2014. I wonder if we're all mad here. Can you believe someone just came up with the idea that we should look at the Biden's past financial records? Oh, what a horrible idea that is, right? It's ridiculous.
Does it matter?
No, it absolutely matters, Ben. And we live in a world today where I can look at my bank account at any second and tell you what you spent, I spent, anybody spent that had to be right within the account. Why is it the American people don't have access to the federal government's account? And we're the ones that pay for it. We have the technology to do it. It's that it's this huge scam that's been going on.
Do you want to know what he's buying?
No, I don't necessarily get in there and look at what he's buying. But what would happen is you'd have these watchdog groups auditing it constantly. It would keep them honest, and I would be 100% for it.
Because he's taking public funding.
Because he's taking public funding, that's right. My family had said similar things over the past 5 years, Tag. Yep. My family will never budge. Never's a long, long time. Thank you all. It's a blessing the hurricane cooled down the Gulf. That way the next hurricane that comes in won't be as bad. 85 degree water. Oh, what a blessing that is. Hey, Brett, we are still here. Well, that's good. I'm glad to know you guys are okay. I am. I was worried about a lot of you guys down there. I talked about Half Bubble Off Plum a little bit earlier, and And I know he was getting ready for it, so I was super glad to see him here as well. Loco's middle name, High School Antics. Let me see. Lowering carbon is on the list. You are a carbon-based life form. Yes, we are. Yep, I don't have to worry about that. My whole family thinks like me. The outsiders think we're all crazy, and then when they see we're right, they act like they've known all along. Oh yeah. Isn't that funny how that works? Oh no, I've been I've known all along. You didn't know shit. We are all Americans. We are, and I'm proud to be an American, by the way. Not proud of my government, but my government is not America. Where are we at here? I might be crazy too. I studied up on anti-parasitics because they all seem to work for this C thing.
Crazy, huh?
Yep. Hank Williams Jr. summed it up with "Country Boy Can Survive," and we are all country here. Let me see. They already had the backs before they released it, in my opinion. I couldn't agree more. Hey, Big Dog Amber, great bread maker, guys. So you know, this lady right here makes mean bread. If the vaccine give them the vaccine, give them an other group. I think what she's referring to is it's again separating us, right? What about those that keep getting sick even though they keep getting vaccines, but they just keep getting the vaccines thinking doing the same thing over and over again will bring different results? Well, Heidi, how is that any different from the bailouts, the TARP funds? How is that any different from the interest rate policies that we've experienced? How is that any different from the easy credit policies? We just keep doing the same thing over and over again, you know, saying, hey, the system's based on infinite growth, so we just have to keep borrowing, keep borrowing, keep borrowing. I think it's wash, rinse, repeat, and, you know, kind of status quo. I hate how they use words like vaccine. Look up the word. The shot doesn't do anything to help you not catch it. Yeah, I'm out. I'm not putting a mask on. I am not participating in any of it. I'll just stay on my farm. I'm perfectly happy with that. Let me see here. I am not an anti-vaxxer at all, just for me and my family. Yep.
Not for all. Yeah.
Yep. You're right, Tag. A lot of those forces trying to divide us control actors on the left and the right to stir conflict. You bet they do. You bet they do. You know, I've reached out to other beliefs on YouTube saying, hey, let's get together and talk about all of the things that connect us. And I have not had anybody take me up on it yet. And it might be just because I'm a little channel. I don't know. But I think there's way more that connects us. You know, I've got friends who are liberals, and I'm going to tell you something funny about them. I give them total shit about it. You know, I call them tree hugger. I tell them they're a liberal. All this. I also have staunch Republican friends. And to me, they're warmongers and whatever, you know, because I don't like any of them. But at the end of the day, we're still friends. Let me see, DTaP example, tetanus, only vaccine is not even a thing really anymore.
The tetanus?
Yep. Vaccines are a business and a for-profit. Just more distractions, says Appalachian. Yep. If I knew then what I know now, I would have been a non-vaxxer.
That's what you're saying.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying too, back when I was younger. Yep. They tell you to feed kids one food at a time for allergies, then give them 4 vaxes at once. See, makes no sense, right? Unless you don't know the motive. Yeah, Pope Reese says, I'm speculating here, but I see many who do not want to work at being healthy, meaning it is an easy, convenient to get a RX versus make herbal meds that have fewer side effects. Well, that's the thing. I mean, I think Pope Reese, this is really, really important. I think, you know, when you go try to live free, you know, people always talk. I get people constantly who email me, I want to live free. I want to live free. I want to live free. The fact of the matter, it's a lot of work. Because if you doing everything for yourself, just like what Potpourri's talking about, right? Making your medicine. Well, you got to go make it.
Well, you have to understand what you're doing
right.
too.
Well,
do I use this or do I use that?
Even once you understand it, you still got to go make it. You got to go pull the plants.
Item,
you got to do it. If you want to
to
grow your own food, you got to plant the seed.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to weed it.
Seed.
You have to build fence. If you want to produce your own energy, you have to work enough to either get the money or build or whatever you do to be able to do that. If you want your own water systems, you got to go build them. Freedom is very inconvenient.
Very.
And it takes a ton of work. Yeah, my kids have very few, and they are adults now. We refused the ones at birth. I made them open the package in front of me every single time. Yep, and the tetanus is entirely useless in the first place. But yes, I have noticed they are always adding in more junk. Yep. Richter says the government is an unconstitutional corporation. Yes, it is. Yeah, Appalachian says they never will. They bleed blue. Yeah, well, apparently they paint their houses blue.
Cayenne blue.
Cayenne blue. Tag if it makes you feel any better. I heard they changed the vaccines in 2005, added the nanoparticle tech then, so your boys should be safe.
In 2005?
Yep. Yep. But I still wish I could go back because I'm so much more educated on it all today, you know. Suspicious activity reports were flagged for Hunter wire transfers the DOD just ignored. Oh, of course. Of course they did. You know, they, go after Trump on the Russian collusion thing when it had nothing to do with that. And I'm not a pro-Trumper. You guys know that about me, but it's a complete double standard. Pfizer's been approved for making a medication for people who have had adverse reactions to the vaccine. Talk about making money. Yeah, money. That's making money off your money. So now you want to build in an adverse reaction to the first vaccine so you can sell the medicine that treats the issue. Yeah,
the problem and the cure.
Yeah, this goes so deep. Pfizer is owned by Monsanto, right? And Monsanto builds Roundup. And Pfizer makes the number one heart medicine. And yet pesticides are one of the biggest issues, one of the biggest culprits to heart disease. So Monsanto sprays everything with Roundup, creates the heart problem. Pfizer, a subsidiary of Monsanto, offers the medication that numbs the side effect and never addresses the issue. Right? Why is this any different than every other day? And then we sit here and talk about going and, doing for yourself, right? Mm. What do we got here? Children, drugs, and ammo. That's what is on Biden's budget. All those children in Maui unaccounted for. That took them. Mike Adams News. Yeah, I like Mike Adams. Yeah, there's so much evil in our world. There's so much evil. And it's so hard to even understand what's real. I don't understand it. So Look out for each other more as times get tougher. Guys, this is why we need to build community. Wherever you are. And, we would love to add more community members to where we live. But the truth is, I would equally like to add more communities and then network those communities together. And, we could do all kinds of, online, meetings and classes and all kinds of stuff with other communities. And I think it's no matter where you are, reach out. But as B was talking about earlier, you got to be intentional in this effort. Walking down Tractor Supply's aisle and just waving at somebody is not enough. Right? You're never going to build community like that. You got to actually go be intentional with your efforts. Remember when Dr. Seuss was canceled? It would be horrible if more people read and understood the message from the Sneetches book. I don't even remember that book.
Sneetches?
Do you remember it? I don't remember it. I might be way behind. Let me see something real quick here. Oh, I'm not too far. Okay.
Oh, on this one, you can go back and forth. You can go up
and
down.
Oh, yeah. I wasn't an anti-vaxxer until I realized they were trying to kill us, says Jane.
Right.
Yep, doing it over and over again, expecting different results is insanity. Nope, sorry. People want to live like hell and then have someone else pay for the fix. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we live in a fast food generation, not my kids. Yeah, well, fast food's so much easier. You just go get it and it's done. You don't got to cook. It's easy.
Well, at one point in time, it used to be hamburger.
Yeah, just not anymore.
I mean,
but this is the
back in the day when McDonald's started, it was hamburger.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And today you have to be disciplined and you have to be willing to be inconvenienced and you have to be willing for it to be hard. You have to be willing to come face all these people on YouTube with a burnt red, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer's nose because you're outside working all day long. That's the only way you're going to get there. If you don't want to do all that work, it's just never going to happen, right? Freedom, much labor, but it's by your own choice. Yes, and I'm a slave, guys. I'm a slave today. No, I am no less of a slave today than I was when I worked in the corporate world. The difference is I'm a slave to my own interests, right? When before I was a slave to someone else's interest. But I got it, tomorrow morning when the sun comes up, I'm not free to just go do whatever I want because animals need taken care of. Things have to happen.
Well, you're free to either make friends, right? To
eat cinnamon rolls,
no,
finish off the coconut cream pie, eat some creme brulee.
There are certain things here that need to be done, and you can pick any of those items that you want to work on.
So you
but
guys,
you know that those items are your responsibility to get done.
You guys know who I'm really a slave to now, right? I do my best on the truck. I bring a little case of essential oils I selected and water I purify at home. Beautiful. What should you say here? Lowercase. The 17th letter of the ancient Greek alphabet is represented. The alveolar. It is preceded by, they must have been talking about something I didn't catch the beginning of. Tag and B and Patriots in the chat. Have a great rest of your night. We've got an early morning. God bless. Hey, Appalachian, good night to you. Have a good night. Yeah, let me see. Cayenne is pronounced cyan.
Okay.
Oh, see? Again, more smart people.
I will write that down.
Yeah. She's going to walk in and say, I want some cayenne.
I want some cayenne blue.
And they're going to hand you some peppers.
Yeah. They're going to say, did you get this on the internet?
Mo Satan is Bayer now. Had to change up for a public image. Yeah, it's crazy.
What did she say? Monsanto?
Yeah, Monsanto is part of Bayer.
Mm-hmm.
But I think, and Bayer and Monsanto still in Pfizer, so, right? Yeah, it's such a crockish. Ecclesia isn't the church building, but the people gathering. Let me see here. I haven't been in Tractor Supply since the debacle they had with their feed during this scandemic. Yeah. Well, in Tractor Supply or your local feed store or the farmer's market or the gun show or the library or your church or whatever, if you want community, you got to be intentional. You have to make the effort, because I'm going to tell you guys, I know hundreds of people who say, I just can't build community. I'm like, well, what's the last thing you did for it? Well, what do you mean? What's the last thing I did for it? I can't, there's nobody around me. Well, how did you look? Well, I mean, I've looked in online and there's just nothing around. No, you don't understand. You have to go be intentional. You have to go be intentional. I'm telling you, that's how it works.
What he means by that is you have to start talking to people and build it.
Yes. Someone has to drive the bus, and that somebody is you. The World Health Organization now assigns Greek letters only to variants that cause concern. The name Parola was suggested by scientists who made a compound word from pi and rho. Let me see. Omicron in the Greek alphabet is also the name for an asteroid next to Jupiter. Let me see. And put up with nobody taking pity on your poor burnt face. I know, right? It used to be in my early days, what would happen is my wife would put lavender on it, or she'd be like, oh, baby, your face, look at your eyes, are red bloodshot because you've been working all day and your face is all red. I'm so sorry. But yeah, that went out the door with with my cinnamon rolls.
Are you summer? I didn't know. Are you some?
Hey, there's my buddy Ghetto. Yes. Hey, Ghetto, what's up, man?
Might be.
Yep, good to see you. Yeah, Helen says cinnamon rolls. Yep. Yoke up with community. They do chicken, we do bees, someone else does goats. Even in suburbia, we can do something. You can. Exactly. And then you get that suburbia group yoked up, and let's yoke up with a country group next to it that you can begin to do commerce, that you can bring things from the city that they can't get, right? I mean, we all don't have a sawmill. We all don't have a sugar plantation. We all don't have a salt mine. And then you begin to build that counter economy, that parallel economy. You build that economics between those two. And then you add a third that's way up north that has something else, and way down south. And now you got oranges and you got pineapples. And you begin to put this whole thing together, and we can make Washington irrelevant again, as Hippocrates Garden once said, which will be a short soon. Yeah. Last week closed on a small rural property with electric, well, and septic, starting to leave the beast system. Can Squatch, good for you. Appreciate all the info and efforts from you two to build community and live free. Amen. Amen. You need a free man hat. Let me see. Damn, I miss those homemade crack addicting cinnamon rolls. Oh, I'm telling you, coconut cream pie. It's been so long, I don't even really know. You know what it tastes like. It's been so long. If you're a real man, you're definitely a slave to that woman. Yeah. Yep. Tag, I'd like to see you do a YouTube making cinnamon rolls. No.
Oh, you don't I don't want him in the kitchen. Oh my gosh, I couldn't imagine.
You see, Meyer in Louisiana had a 30-day streak of 100+ degree temps. We're in the 90s now, and I feel like a new person. Yes, amen. Hey, there they are. See, Towards Joy and Freedom are here. Absolutely. Tag. People can't consume community. You have to produce it, work at it, and build it. Yeah, I met Towards Joy and Freedom at the Self-reliance Festival, and we ended up having dinner together one night. Not just us, but like 12 of us, and got to hang out. And they've been on quite the journey too. And I hope you guys that's going really, really well. But I think to their point, you guys have a garden. Most people in this chat are gonna have a garden. Why do you weed it? Well, you weed it because you want the produce, right? I mean, you weed it because you want the outcome you're looking for. And weeding it is part of the process to getting the outcomes you work for. How is community any different? If you're not scheduling it, planning it, if it's not part of your everyday chore, your every week chore, your every month chore, you're never going to get it built. See, that's the problem. You can't just sit back and wait for it to happen to you, because I'm telling you, it will not happen. It will not happen.
Like you want it.
No, it will not. Now, she knows by your sunburn how hard you worked. Yeah, she just don't care. You guys, everybody here knows I'm totally playing. My wife is amazing to me. She doesn't bake me baked goods anymore. Or hasn't. I'm
glad to know it's off the to-do list.
Yeah.
Anymore, ever.
Yeah. I got a funny bee story to tell you guys. You guys will see in a video. I'm hopefully get out this next week. So B was carrying 80-pound bags of concrete, and we were every fifth or sixth pole or T-post. We're putting a steel post in the ground for this fence, and she's dumping it. And I snuck up on her with the camera and said, "Hey, what are you doing? Are you on vacation and you dropped your wifely duties because I'm hungry and we don't have dinner?" And dude, the look she gave me, I can't wait to share it with you guys. Oh my goodness, it was so beautiful.
Was it the look of, I will get you dinner right now? So
no, it was the look
that the look that you were?
No, that's the one I was wanting.
At?
That's the one I was wanting.
What'd you get?
Piss off. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I was expecting help with those bags of concrete.
Yeah, it was. I'll show you guys, because I got it all on camera. Because you guys know I like to sneak up on her and accuse her of being on vacation. I got her a perfect one, and it was just a classic be on vacation moment. Tomorrow, I invited a few ladies from our growing group over so I can teach them how to make soap. Good for you. Nice. Way to spread it. Tag 1, nobody's coming to save you. 2, you have hands and can put lavender on by yourself. Every time someone says somebody should do something, I say, aren't you somebody? Well, so all of this stuff is true. I can do my own laundry. I can make my own dinner. I'm fully capable. I can get my own milk. I can do all of those things. But here's the thing that you can't do, Jules, is absolutely spoil your husband for the first 15 or 18 or 20 years of your marriage, and then just decide to stop because it's too hot outside. Because the chickens are more important.
I've been feeding you for 18 years. Get your own food. You're a big boy now.
The beast system they'll have, and we'll have the underground bartering system. Yep. Parallel society, parallel economy.
That's what it is. It was after 18 years. I'm like, you're a big boy now.
It must have been. And it's okay. Because if she can change, that means I can change.
I would love to go back to making 12 dozen cookies a week, and that was all I did.
We could get into a whole efficiency conversation right here. No?
No.
Not today? Okay. Yesterday, our neighbor asked if the shrub between our yard was his, as he wanted it trimmed. I said I haven't had a chance, but would barter with him if he would trim it. But he said he was too lazy.
Are you kidding me? I'm too lazy? Yep. Then you don't want it trimmed, then do ya?
Yep. Jen says there are words in Hopi that me as Athabascan, probably didn't say it right. When I lived in a village in Alaska, one of the guys was Hopi and stayed to work. Trade routes are going to be very important again. Yep. Mm-hmm. This is why networking the communities are together is so important.
Yeah.
Right? Because we can create those exact routes. People weed the garden because they don't understand how useful those weeds are.
They actually are, because the stuff that I weeded, the deer came up and were like, thanks, homeowner. And then the stuff that I did not weed, they just they bypassed it altogether.
But that's the type of neighbors we have. But hopefully over time, people will realize that's the nice field family is giving that when they give in return. Yeah. Rickster says, I'm moving to the homestead tomorrow. I'll be a free man. Badass.
Nice.
Keep fighting, keep going. New level, new devil, right?
Did you send pictures? Did he send pictures?
No, he said he's going to, though. And then we're going to do a video. Yeah. Yeah. Awesome.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Where am I at here? Yep. Everyone. Yeah. Ghetto.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Damn. Now I know where I went wrong. Right. You can't change. Right. I mean, you get us guys finally trained. We do things the same way every day. You get us all doing, whatever our role is in the relationship. And then you guys decide you don't want to bake anymore.
That's not
true.
true.
Does that mean I don't have to do my stuff anymore?
That's not true.
That I get to change now too?
That's not true. I'd love to bake. I'm hauling 80-pound bags of concrete.
And so am I. What's the difference? So because
I'm pretty sure that 80 pounds to you is different than 80 pounds to me. Like you could probably carry one on each arm, and I'm like holding it, just trying to get it over to the hole.
Just because I'm carrying an 80-pound bag of concrete does not relieve me of my duty of paying the bills.
No.
We'll leave it right there.
You better pick that back up.
Yes, ma'am. Imagine, if you will, a community that grew all of its food, produced all of its own water and electricity, educated its own children. How long would it take for a mysterious disaster to wipe it from existence? Yeah.
If nobody knew about it, it would be there forever.
Yep. Beautiful MJ from Wisconsin is calling it a night. Good night to you. Yeah, we're going to call it here in about 20 minutes. Let me see. 18 years and out of the house. Right.
Yeah.
Finally out of the house, right, Barb?
She's telling you to get out of the house.
I know what she's saying. She's saying after 18 years, I finally get to do for myself. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that rule just needs to work both ways. All grown up and able to cook his own squash. Mrs. Ghetto loves when it's my turn to cook dinner. It means I'll be picking up pizza on my way home. Right.
Do you cook, Ghetto? Do you cook, like, grill anything or stove anything? Microwave anything?
All right. Well, I did make a homemade pie, apple pie, from our own apples for tomorrow. But of course, it's for the ladies. Though I will be nice and make one for Patrick, too.
A whole pie? He gets a whole pie?
You get a whole house and a whole paddock.
To clean?
And a whole barn. And a whole bunch more animals.
And
a whole bunch.
A whole bunch of
Your dreams.
skid loaders and stuff.
Babe, what do you want? And you have them all. Just like a miracle. It just happened.
I guess it actually does, doesn't it? As you wish.
As you wish. See, there you go. You go, B. I just did 60-pound concrete and I thought I'd die, says Dana.
Yeah, well, so I thought I was getting 60-pounders, but they didn't have any.
Once your lady starts farting around you, means the relationship is changing and you may have to cook for yourself once in a while. I should have taken that clue, huh?
I don't know.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Our neighbors in the dense urban and suburban are secluded and suspicious, but in our urban rural fringe are open and friendlier. Equal rights in all for it, but women and men are different. We can do different things better. Yeah, I love Road but I've said it many times. Men and women are not equal. They will never be equal. I don't care what anybody says. It's never going to happen. They are not equal. We are all have the same value. Our lives are worth the same, but we are not equal. B is far superior in many things in our life. It's just the way it is. I don't try to be better at it because cooking is a great example of that, right? Let me see here. Just breakfast and a mean smothered pork chop. Yep. To clean. Wow, what a comeback. Yeah, Buttercup is my favorite princess. Oh my goodness, I'm caught up. Look at that. Wow. I know, right? You guys were funny.
It only took an hour and 45
minutes. I know,
minutes.
Right? It's all right. We don't get to it.
Yeah.
Hey, did you know there was something that happened this week that happened for the first time in 250 years? Can you guess? Anybody guess what it is? Any guesses? No guesses?
Mm-mm.
So the 10-year treasuries lost money the last 2 years, and it looks like this will be the third year where the 10-year treasury loses money in a straight year. And the last time that U.S. Treasury, the 10-year treasury lost money 3 consecutive years in a row was 250 years ago.
Oh.
There's a difference between equal and equivalent. Yep. Agree. Each of us contribute to the balance. Amen. Amen. And I'm not skilled at word. I think she's saying woodworking. I'm not skilled at woodworking, metalworking, mechanic work, carpentry, and all the many things that Patrick does. We have our own jobs. We do. Yeah, same here.
Yeah.
We always call it. We have our own roles, and so and I tell B all the time. I think I frustrate her sometimes because I'm like, I don't want to manage that. I don't have the bandwidth. I'm managing my own stuff. You tell me what to do, and I'll do it. But this project, whatever it is, the fill in the bank project is your project to manage. You just tell me what to do, and she'll just tell me what to do. I'll just go do it. And then there's other projects that I'm the lead on it, right? Like we're going to build a building, and she'll just or whatever. And she'll just do what I asked her to do, and off we go. And it works great for us. I don't have an ego in it. She don't have an ego in it. It doesn't matter. We'll just go get it done, and it's fine.
Oh, I guess there are people like that who would have an ego in it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Cooking is my wife's strength. Many things are my strength. Best part of a relationship is when we both can use our strengths to help each other. Yep. Clearly, I'm not skilled at word working either. Yeah.
Word working.
We speak Heidi, though.
Woodworking.
Heidi, we speak it, right? I knew what you meant. All right, what else I got on my list here today? China said something interesting. Super interesting. So China said that America crossed a red line and that they are going to face a storm of lethal consequences. I thought that was an interesting choice of words.
The storm of lethal?
That can't be 250 years. I wasn't thinking about what I said. Maybe it was 150 years. I don't remember. Anyway. Oh, shoot. What did I do there?
Oh.
We got it. Yeah, so anyway, I thought the storm of legal consequences was a very interesting way to say that. One step says, my wife is spoiled. My father and I do all the cooking. Your wife is spoiled. But I don't know. I mean, if she's the one, if she's out there chopping wood, I would say that you're spoiled that you don't have to chop wood.
Yeah, it depends on, I guess, what we all have different roles.
We have different arrangements, right?
Arrangements. We all have different arrangements.
Yeah. So China said that we were that statement about the consequences because we finished an $80 million funding package for Taiwan. And that's what they were talking about. Israel, I don't know if you guys know this or not, but looks like they're close to conflict against Lebanon, which I find super interesting. And BRICS announced that they will begin trading in a commodities-based currency in 2024, which I find that pretty interesting. My wife cooks. I do the cleaning, says Loco. Hey, Squatchy. What's up, Pete? Yeah, it has been a while.
It has been a minute.
Yeah, good to see you. I think China is saying they're tired of Biden's crap and they're going to slap us down. Yeah, they better be careful. Everyone thinks that China's this big old badass. China has an economy that's crumbling around them. They're an aging population. They have a aging naval fleet. They're going to have their hands full too. Let me see here. Looks like the housing market is falling apart on the East and West Coast. Any of you guys out on the East and West Coast noticing a cooling of the real estate market? Oh, this was super interesting statistic I read today. It said that only 31% of adults say they're in good mental health.
31%?
Only 31% say they're in good mental health.
Wow.
So what does that tell you? What would you do with that information, B? I mean, is there anything because that's alarming to me.
That's a lot.
That means that when you're into Walmart, 7 out of 10 people would consider themselves not in good mental health.
Oh, right.
right? Or to
That's
be
a little
exact,
concerning.
69 out of 100 would say they're in poor mental health.
Yeah.
How many times you walk into Walmart, there's 100 people in there every time?
Yeah. That's
right?
a little alarming.
A little alarming. So what's that tell you?
That it would be easy for people to go postal.
Yeah, well, and the life is set up for them to go postal, right? I mean, we have inflation. It's getting harder and harder to pay your bills. Interest rates are rising. People can't buy a home.
Yeah.
Right. Credit card
Kids are hungry.
defaults are at their highest levels since the 80s, late 70s, early 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah. 61% of people surveyed are living paycheck to paycheck today.
Yeah.
So the pressures are mounting. And now 69% are saying they don't feel like they have good mental health.
Mentally unstable.
So what do we do with that information? I mean, how do we put actionable items behind that kind of information?
That makes sense though, because I've seen a lot of like psychiatric help via telephone and via the internet. So he hears the dogs barking.
Yeah.
So that makes sense why those are more prevalent now. That's a little alarming though.
Yeah. Well, I think there's a lesson in it. And I think it's because people are on the edge. Maybe it's a good way to say that. And they're feeling all of that pressure. Don't put yourselves in a bad situation. When you pull into a parking lot, don't park in a spot that makes it easy for you to be mugged. Right? Make sure you park in a good open spot. The second thing is carry. If you're a gun owner, carry. Just carry. Get used to carrying it everywhere you go. You know, the other thing is pay attention to your surroundings. Pay attention to what's going on.
To your surroundings. Right? Yep.
Right. And you know, you and I were in a Walmart and there was a situation we ran into.
Yeah. And I've seen that guy back there several times.
And babe, as soon as I seen him and the rest of that time, I was circling you, making sure there was not a problem.
Yeah.
As you checked out, got bagged out. Right. I was on guard. I was not wasn't paying attention to what you were doing. I was paying attention to everything else that was going on around.
Yeah.
So I think we as a people need to start being super aware of our surroundings because those statistics are not good statistics.
Be responsible for your own.
Yeah. Brett Boyd says, Tag, how are you coming on your dual power solar electric? So the solar system's going fine. I have a backup generator, but I've done nothing more with it. Oh my goodness, I missed so many. I've done nothing more with it since then. I just had my hands full. I'm going to talk about it as we close tonight a little bit and let you guys know something about me that I've been driving towards this whole time. Prices in MD aren't coming down a whole lot, but nobody is buying either. I'm waiting for a good price on a property. Yeah, and I think with the rising interest rates, which, by the way, guys, if you don't know this, they're going to raise the rates again. Just FYI. Home mortgage rates are going to approach 10% by the end of the year. And quote me. Let me see here. Oops, sorry, bud. House prices in Southern California are nuts still, but stagnant. Well, yeah.
They're starting to.
Well, interest rates are high. Would you go borrow $500,000 at 8%? I would not.
And those are climbing also.
Yep, scary, and it's not as bad as it will get. Oh yes, it's because they're batshit crazy from all the stress. Right. I'm not hating on them, guys. Oh, by the way, YouTube just let me know we were live. Yeah, an hour and 52 minutes later. Have you seen the lists of mental disorders on the DSM? There are more than one possible diagnosis for any person to apply. Oh, of course. But what I found interesting, Hippocrates, was this was a survey that asked people how they felt. Do they feel mentally healthy? If someone came up to me in the middle of a mall, I probably wouldn't answer the question. I'd just go on with my day. But if they got me to answer the question and said, hey, do you feel mentally healthy? I'd be like, yeah.
But they could be like, do you feel stressed today?
Yeah, who knows?
That could be mentally unhealthy today. Right. So that could be misunderstood.
Yep. The devil feeds off our negative energy. Sadly, it makes sense that society as a whole is in a negative state. But guys, just like B driving away on the four-wheeler that day or me having to go to the store for the fourth time, life's what you make it. You can say, oh, this sucks, and you can get mad. Or you could say, I don't want to carry 80-pound bags.
You can just sing louder.
Yeah, right. It's all how you look at it, in my opinion. A lot of people use that as an excuse, though, to be lazy, break laws, not care about anyone but themselves. No, I don't disagree with that. I see people looking on Craigslist for rooms, places to stay cheap, increasing each and every day. It's one of the many things I watch to keep an eye on what's happening. That's actually a really good one.
For rooms.
Yeah, people just looking for rooms. They don't want to rent because they can't rent an apartment anymore. You can't rent a house anymore. It's gotten too expensive because they just rent a room.
They rent a room?
Yeah. Just a place they could be. You know, rents are insane and more are being vocal about it. Well, they should be. Yep. Yikes. The ruling class is destroying everything, including our society, so they can sell us their solution. Yeah. Well, you know, it's crazy, David, and I don't know if you know this, but did you know the American consumer controls about 70% of the U.S. economy is made up of what we're buying every single day. And if all we got to do is stop doing it, all we got to do is decide who to do business with, right? I know that the, out of state tomato is cheaper. I know it is, but the one you buy at your local farmer's market's doing the most good.
Well, it also tastes like a tomato.
Yeah. I mean, well, I'm just talking about from a money perspective. When we talk about nobody has money, what good is it?
That's the thing though. You go to the local big store and you buy a tomato for $1.80 and you get it home and it doesn't taste like a tomato. You're like, that was the wateriest tomato I've ever had. I
will guarantee you, if you don't have money for that kind of stuff, you go find a farmer and volunteer your time and you'll come up with.
I'd be okay with somebody volunteering their time to weed
someone
and
come out and
send
work.
Boxes of food home.
Done. Yep. The saddest story. Oops, sorry. The saddest story of our age is that too many lack purpose. Well, but I agree with this one step closer, but we lack purpose because they've created that lack of purpose. The cell phone, the internet's done a great, job on that by itself. I mean, what purpose do you have just to go back to work again, to do the same thing you did before? You're not following your passions. You're not doing any of that. You're just working so that you can pay your mortgage that they've convinced you to buy and your credit card bills they convinced you to sign up for every time you went into Home Depot. You're paying for that car or those 2 cars or those 3 cars that they convinced you to buy because you're not successful if you don't meet the modern media's version of successful, a commercial that comes up and says, hey, this is what a woman looks like, right?
Yeah.
I mean, so this has been a systematic attack on your sense of purpose. And it's time that what we do is stand up. And I hope that this is the message people will get from me today, tomorrow, and forever, is it's time to sit up and follow your purpose. And I would rather risk everything following my purpose than risk staying in the system with my money in the market that will collapse, with my money in a house that the bank is going to repossess because I'm not going to be able to afford the payments, than have my life in a system where I'm dependent on a company to dictate what I inject into my body. I'll take the bet on me every single time. I'll stop ranting. We cut the plug to the internet if we're in bad mental health. Most of it is fed through the system. 100% agree. Oops. Did I go down? Did I go up? I've lost my place.
I don't know where you're at.
Right there.
There's Pete.
I have rebellion and sarcasm to protect my mental health. Yeah, I think that's the point, Kelly, is right there. What do we do with it, right? When things don't go right, do we embrace it? Do we embrace that change? Do we do those things, or do we get upset, right? Let me see. I still say tax, insurance, and power is going to be a big deal in the future.
Tax, insurance, and power, or tax, insurance?
Tax, insurance, and power. I imagine he'd say those 3 things. Yeah, well, I mean, there's some of these. So, Brett, let's say, for an example, that taxes, insurances, and power will be the biggest issues to deal with in the future. Then why in the world do we have money in a 401k plan? If these are the issues, go deal with your tax liabilities. Go deal with your insurance issues. For example, did you know if you own your home, you don't have to carry insurance? Right? Power. Guys, you can buy solar systems. You can buy stuff to deal with your power. Water. You can deal with those kinds of issues. But instead, what we would rather do is be conditioned and leave the money there for a measly 4, 5, 6% return when inflation's 20, which means you're actually losing 12 or 14% on your money. Makes absolutely no sense. I don't know why people do it. And of course, don't forget diagnosis. Yeah, Pete says you can feel the tension in and around the stores. Yep.
Yeah.
Yes, you can. 100% of people have some form of mental disorder. Yeah, but what I think is so fascinating about this survey, and guys, who knows, right? I mean, there's who's telling the story, what questions are they asking? That it was talking about people who were asked, right? That 69% of them said they weren't in a good mental state. If someone asked me that and I was depressed, let's say I was depressed and life was not going good, and someone walked up and asked me how things were going to be, I say, it's great.
Right.
And I go
It's
about my life.
fantastic.
I'm going to go about my life. There's zero chance
I'm
going
not opening
to.
up to you. Who are you?
Right. Yeah, Pete says have a
Life
head
is
on a swivel.
great.
Right. There are some houses coming down in price. Shit, over 100 people going to open houses. People are bidding high. It's like they're experiencing a gambling high. Crazy. I've been carrying daily so long.
I want to finish off
two 1911 pistols. Yeah, that makes me want to add another mag. I would. Let me see. I like Rain Country says I like listening to true crime stories. So many of these people claim they have mental issues to make an excuse for their behavior. Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with that. Let me see here. What's Russia and China are fronting. They don't fear the government, but are scared shitless of the true freedom-loving American patriots. Yep, I agree with that statement completely. Well, and the thing is, if you were going to attack America, and I'm not suggesting they're going to, but if you were going to, when would you? What would be the ideal time to attack America? Well, I mean, I think if you're scared of the people, the first thing you do, you attack them just in the beginning of the winter so that you get the greatest amount of die-off prior to the spring where they can start growing their own crops and the things can come back to it.
Oh,
That's horrible. The other thing that I would do is I would also attack them when our politicians were at their weakest, when we had the greatest amount of divide in our society. I certainly wouldn't attack them in a case where everyone was united or you had a strong president. I would really work on a time where there was a bunch of dysfunction. And I don't know when that time would be. I'll let you decide that. Looked at the properties near you. Very tempting. Pete, we have a great place here. It's got its highs. It's got its lows. We had a super hot week a couple of weeks ago, and we're going to have a super cold one this winter. But we have something what a lot don't have. We have a whole bunch of people on the same page.
You looked at a piece of property by us?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you let me know when you want to come down. I'll give you the grand tour. Homes down here are still selling, says Brett. Let me see. Me too. HP. Another would be 3. That is my saying. It's all in how you look at it. Yeah. Yeah. One person told me early in my career that life was 10% of what happened to me and 90% how I chose to deal with what happened to me. So I've just always kind of, taken that to heart.
Chose to look at it.
We first bought at 8.25% in 2000, refinanced, but the rates aren't that bad, really. I won't pay that again, though. No, I'm not paying 10% for anything. I'm not paying 8.25% for anything either. But here's the thing. It's easy for me to say because I'm in a position I don't have to.
Right.
There are people out there who cars break down, who have to have a home or whatever it is. Right. And they just don't simply have a choice. But here's the thing. Stop giving into the temptation of, as I mentioned earlier, the Home Depot credit card. I can save you $50 today by opening up a credit card. Right? Work super, super hard on getting to a place where you don't have any debt. So if the engine in my truck blows up tomorrow, I can just go buy a new truck. I don't want to. I don't really want to spend the money there, but we could. And I think when you work on eliminating as many of those fronts as you can, more and more options seem to open up. Or at least that's how it is for me. That's where free will come into play. It's our choice to be negative regardless of how society is. I've noticed that in life in general has gotten better once I changed my mindset and attitude. Oh, 100%. 100%. The other thing is, I'll also take as another piece of advice that someone gave me a long time ago that worked really well for me. They said, only surround yourself with people that make you better. Now, that's not a financial statement. What that is good people, people who challenge you and push you to do the right thing.
Or people who have good character and good motives.
Right. Somebody you can follow, someone who can show you a better way. Only put yourself in those situations. And if the people that are in your life only take from you, get rid of them. Yeah. And guys, I'm not saying this out of no experience. I have a good friend of mine. His name's Will. I thought for years and years and years and years and years, I wondered where he is and how he's doing. But I had to make a break at some point because I just couldn't take the drama in my life anymore. I saw a clip where a guy was renting a cubicle-sized space for $400 a month, just big enough for his bed and a tiny bag of storage. She said a tiny big of storage, but she also said word for wood.
I was thinking of, what was a tiny big?
A tiny big.
A tiny big.
A tiny big of storage. You see, I just heard today that migrants are getting 2,200 siphon a month. Yeah, we have lost our way.
Oh.
Yeah, and there's people out there starving. Americans out there starving while we're doing that shit.
That
car was moving awful slow up there. That might be 3 steps in
Is that
Tetris.
like blinking lights? Were
Yeah,
the
a lot
lights
of
blinking?
a lot of mental health deal. Because they have never had to do anything hard. Yeah, huh?
Maybe
They're about to get a
because-
rude awakening. Yeah, I was thinking about that today, about with all the stuff going on, how I get myself hardened better to deal with having to deal with it for myself. And I think we do a good job. We work hard every single day, you know, and I think that's the best thing that you can do. You know, get off the couch, put down your phone, and plant a tomato, as Bobby Spags would say. I needed a new gasket for my pressure canner. Drove to my local Ace and ordered one. Waited a week and picked it up yesterday. I'd rather do that than jump on Amazon. I need the Ace to be there for me. That's another great thing. Vote with your dollar.
Right. I need the Ace to be there for me. So she went and bought it through Amazon,
Right.
and she's taking the money away from the local store.
Yep. Oh my goodness.
It's true.
You know, One Step Closer says, my faith gives me purpose. Too bad that so many churches have stopped following the Bible. Yeah, this is one of the things I can't wait to do when we get our community building up, is to be able to do our own. Out of all of the pressures, right? It's not a nonprofit. It's not none of that stuff. It's where a bunch of people get together, right?
Right.
I love it.
And it's not about the money in the tithe or the clothes that you're wearing.
Right. Yep. Insurance is the biggest scam there is. I don't know about the biggest. I would put the banking system as the biggest scam there is. I would put the pharmaceutical industry maybe as the second biggest scam there is. But pretty much all the systems are scams. Tax on your property insurance. You see, tax on your property insurance like health, power, like lights, gas for your car. Yeah, I think taxes is probably the thing I worry the most about, because it's something I really don't have a good answer for as of yet. 4th of July hit us when it hurt the most. Yeah.
That's when would they hit him? 4th of July.
Yep.
When they're when they're celebrating their independence.
Yeah, but I think it's really more about, I mean, you have the mental issue there, but what I think would really hurt us the most is hit us prior to being able to grow anything. You know, stretch us out the longest you can, you know, without supplies. And I think you'd have people weak and willing to succumb to the new master because they were hungry. Right. Rickster said, good night, bud. He's packing. My crap is paid for, but lots of others aren't as fortunate or didn't work 80 hours a week like me. Yeah, didn't work 80 hours like you. Yep, you would be lucky to find anything decent for $500,000 in California. Yeah. Yeah, no thanks. That's why I live in Kansas. State Farm is pulling out of California. They said the fires will end up costing them money. Says a lot. Yep. Actually, guys, I think you're going to see a big contraction in P&C insurance, which is property and casualty insurance. Would insures properties and homes, and people are going to become more and more selective because of all of this craziness that's going on.
The people will be more selective, or the
insurance companies. The insurance companies will look at the risk differently. The wildfires in California or the wildfires in Hawaii, right, that just happened, those insurance companies aren't going to want to insure those homes.
Right.
You know, for $150 a month.
Right?
No, they don't have to.
If they had insurance and they can renege. If we had insurance and the neighborhood burnt down and we were covered, our house was covered, they have to pay for it, don't they?
Yes, they have to pay for it, but they can cancel the insurance and pay for nothing going forward.
Oh.
They're due. They have to cover the cost of, or the risk while you were insured. But what they can say is, we're not doing Hawaii anymore.
Oh.
We're not doing California anymore. You know, we're not going to do Kansas because of tornadoes or whatever, right? Yeah. One Step Closer just got a big repair bill for the Jeep. Instead of whining about it, I picked up a side gig activity to build an emergency fund back up. You got it. Just got a letter here from Homeowners Insurance, and for them to renew, they wanted a live video of the inside and outside of the house negative. We own it, so we'll have to self-insure. We have
a video of the inside of their house.
We have homeowners insurance, but and you can ask me, I've talked many times about self-insuring. Well, let's quit paying for it. If something burns down, I'll rebuild. You know. I know. She says, I meant to say a bit of storage. Good gravy. Yep. Need to work on my word working skills. I would say it's more of a super fast typing on your phone skills. Right. Yep. Hard work is so helpful. Mm-hmm. Yep. Tag, did UMB check out Mark Driscoll? I have not yet.
Didn't I write that down?
Yeah, you did. It's on the list. I
Yeah.
just haven't had time to do it. We've had, guests and stuff, where two or more are gathered. Yep. Amen.
Yep.
Yeah. Rain country says, or unless they can find a lame excuse not to cover you. Right. Yep. Amber says, hit before the harvest. It put all efforts into lost crop right before winter. Yep. Yep. The amount of insurance companies make outweighs what they ever pay. Yeah, but see, here's the thing: the amount that the bankers make outweigh any of the assets they already have. Right. Anyway, it's 2 hours. I have 4 more pages of notes. I could continue to go on.
Good thing Miley's not here.
Yeah, right. So you got any parting words you want to talk about? And then I'm going to do some more to get out of here.
So part of my, one of the things on my list a long time ago was that I had been bitten or stung or something on the back of my neck. And then down a little bit on my shoulder. So it's like swollen and irritated and the skin texture is different. So, and I don't know what it was because I was just busy working, not paying attention. And earlier I had saw Squatchy had said head on the swivel. And so when my thing was pay attention to your surroundings, while we're at the grocery store or even in the yard. So I'm in the yard by myself, obviously not paying attention to my surroundings, and got into something that has like been keeping me irritated for a week now. I don't want anything touching it, and it hurts. It still hurts. So pay attention to your surroundings, because I got a little bug bite, but like at the grocery store with a weirdo on a little girl's bike with a purple boom box, acting sketchy at the checkouts. You just never know where your attention needs to be. So if you're paying attention to what's going on around you, that also you could not just self-preserve, but help those around you. So even those who are in your area, who are not going to ask for help, but it's over 100 degrees and they're over there and their air conditioner's not working. That's part of your surroundings if you're paying attention to what's going on around you.
Well, I think there's a lot of things we can do with that too. I think you can plan your trips to town better, limit your exposure, shop at a particular time where the less crazies are out. I mean, there's a lot of things we can do if we just think smart.
Yeah.
I mean, I think there's just a lot of things we can do to live smarter. And I think we have to do it because the world's getting crazy and crazier, and the pressure is going to mount more and more, right? It just is.
Yeah.
And people living paycheck to paycheck. Don't forget 61% I think I said 61% of people admitted to living to paycheck, and 69% said they don't feel like their mental health is in a good spot.
Oof.
I mean, that's a big number.
A storm.
That's a storm brewing, right? So just be smart, right? I think that's good parting advice. I wanted to share something with you guys tonight. And for those of you who have stayed on for 2 hours and 12 minutes, I've had a goal for a long time. I've never talked about it on the channel, but there is a website out there called the Dangle Report. It's dangle.com. And they've changed it a bunch up recently, but this was something that I looked at years and years and years ago. And what it talked about was that the world population was going to decrease dramatically in 2024. And this is not a weird, you remember the site, right?
I remember this.
And this
years
is
ago.
This is not a conspiratorial website. This is a place that deals with the basically the logistics of governments all over the world. Who has how many tanks, blah, blah, blah. But anyway, they had predicted you got the spelling right, Philippine Nomad, dangle.com. But anyway, so they predicted this huge die-off in some countries, but growth in others. Like Mexico was going to grow, but the United States was going to, die off basically in a large part of the way. So anyway, there was also some other things that went on with some other things that I read that coincided with 2024. So back in about 2018, I set a goal out that I was going to have all of my infrastructure in place by 2024. And not that I necessarily believed all of that stuff that I read, but what it gave me was a goal. It allowed me to say, okay, that's my date. I'm going to put this goal out there and I'm going to work my ass off focused on that goal. And so here we are, September of 2023, and I have all of my water, I have my power, I have my sewer, I've got a house, I've got all these things. I'm finishing up some fencing, kind of the last bit there. But at the end of the day, for me personally, setting a goal out there, even if it's a silly goal, or I want to have X done by this date, I think really helps me get through. Never forget that all strength really is the ability to handle the obstacles and to manage through them. A strong-headed person is just simply someone who can manage through the obstacles. Pride yourself on that. A wise person once said that out of my comfort zone is the only place I get to grow. So embrace being uncomfortable, right? Embrace the hurt that's in your back that day. Embrace the hurt that's in your legs. Embrace those moments like, man, nothing went right today. I worked all day long and got nothing accomplished. Embrace those kinds of things, because get good at the suck, because we might all need it. Love you guys. We'll see you guys later. Everybody have yourselves a good night. And Coraline Stevenson, it's good to see you. We'll see you guys.
Be out.
Tag out. Goodbye.